Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bourbon Time. Tonight, we're gonna do something we used to do all the time. We just haven't done it in a while because we've been busy and cutting up with everything, catching everybody up on everything. Tater Dom, you forgot to DM me your address so that I can send you your winnings. So if you can take the time to DM me, communicate to me somehow, give me an address so that I can get your hat to you. What's up, guys?
Cheers, buddy. Dom, Joe, what's going on?
What's up?
Living a dream, man. Living a dream. Turn my volume down on this guy. On Instagram.
You can't turn the volume down on just Chris, though.
I know. I've tried. Didn't work.
Did he mute himself or did he kick himself off?
I didn't do it.
That's hilarious.
I think he's still fine.
He may be working on it.
Yeah.
Trying to get his light set up. Now he's in the dark.
All right. Cool.
Cheers, YouTube. Cheers, Instagram. Hope
There he
everybody's
is.
having a good night.
So, what are you guys drinking on?
I went I went a little bougie tonight. I pulled out some SMWS. I pulled out an old I think it was like a 2021 festival release, Clam Bake on the Beach.
Huh.
It is a 10-year-old Kalila at 58.7.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This iPad stuff gets fun, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's connected, it's not connected. It's connected, it's not connected.
Dude. Sometimes, yeah, when you're going between devices with those headphones, you got to make sure you, like, exit out of one before you know.
Right.
It's like if you forget and you're like, oh, then you turn on the other one, it's like, oh, bink.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
So, I decided to go and get something I haven't touched in years.
Bobby went to the back of the cabinet.
So, yeah, I went and got the 2018 Little Book.
Ooh. Fancy.
Well, I always look at the wall over there of all the bookers, and I'm like, I don't have to walk over there and get one. They're just there.
I do.
I grabbed a 2021 Woodman's Jepson's Indiana pick.
Nice.
I haven't touched this thing in a long time either.
What's up, Baker?
So I figured that'd be a nice choice tonight. Something a little different.
Oh, dude. That's wild.
You're wild.
Well, I mean, dude, like clam bake on the beach is like, it's accurate,
Okay.
That sounds like, I don't know if that's
like that.
Sounds like something I would like.
Well,
I mean, that doesn't sound like I think of drinking whiskey.
Well,
I can understand the saltiness from the ocean, being.
Oh, dude, no. It's like you know that sweetness that like fresh seafood has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the sweet, not salty, but sweet.
Well, I mean the salt is there, but like on the nose, like there's just that sweet. There's an undertone of lemon. I'm not gonna say it's like outright like lemon zest or anything like that. It's just it's right there. Oh, dude,
what's up, Stacy?
Got Anthony in here. We got Stacy in here. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. We got Stacy.
There we go. That's a little better. The light.
Man.
I know.
Oh, that's good.
So, Zach, what are you having?
To smoke?
Well,
I
either.
pu- oh well, I told you, clam bake on the beach. So
Oh, okay.
little Colila
I'm still
for
trying
everybody.
to catch up, so.
And we got one of our friends out of San Antonio. We got the Bunny Brigade from Mole Bunny Droppings, Justin out there.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic cigars. If anybody um,
The
hadn't
old
picked them up,
Boone.
they hadn't had one drop in a minute. I know they're still doing stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I hadn't had one of these in a minute, and it's hitting the spot.
Nice.
I'm smoking a fresh roll.
Oh,
Very nice.
who's the bougie one now?
Yeah. They're pretty good though. I can
I
lie.
know. I guess first order of business. We got updates.
Yeah, we have updates and that stuff. I'm just waiting a little bit for. Figured a little bit into it for a couple updates and what's going on and stuff like that. See if we grab a couple more people here. Wait till Chris comes back. But
I'm going and grabbing a light jacket. It's like 55 here.
Oh, that sounds comfortable.
It does.
Sounds like I should be.
And I'm out here going to the window, to the walls with the. Never mind. I won't finish the rest of that.
Yeah. Well, you'll have that. We going through this little cool spell, which reminds us of fall, which is wonderful. I love it. But it's supposed to get back up in 90s, so it's short lived. But I'll take it when I get here. I'm a fall guy, man. I love.
We were 102 yesterday.
I love the fall.
Oh, I love the fall too, man.
Yeah, but 102 is relative to, your environment, how often are you used to it or whatever, If you're used to having a normal ambient temperature of around 70s and 80s, then 102 is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you're used to being nothing in the 90s and 100s, it's just another day.
It's still hot.
It is hot. There's no doubt it's hot. It's miserable. That's why I live where it's 102.
There was a lady and she posted how hey, listen, it's so hot outside it's not safe to walk your dog. And she gave a gradient chart, of the temperature, what time of day it was, how long it had, been at that temperature. I was amazed at what, the excessive heat that was coming up off the.
Yeah, they're talking about their feet, right? The paws.
Yeah. But the temperature of the concrete, so it's unsafe to walk them.
Right.
It's just wow. So
it gets like that. It's pretty crazy.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah, so people have to catch this on the rebound. I know that there's a couple of shows going on right now. I don't know if it was before or after. It should be wrapping up pretty soon, but I know that Jeff Wacker was on with the Junkies.
Gotcha.
You want to hang out, drink, and poker thing, something?
There we go. Yay. All right, all set back up. And then I left my ashtray on the other end of the table.
Yeah, just throw it on the ground if you're outside. It'll all go away. That's what the wind and elements are for.
I know. God, it's train wreck day.
Oh man.
Train coming through. No, it's not that bad. It's just the first day of school for my kids, so it's been crazy,
Nice.
The 94,000 emails from all the teachers introducing themselves, and you're trying to find them all because you're supposed to reply back. Oh God.
Is your school using Remind? Oh my God.
No, we use something called Teacheries.
Okay.
And they got that, and then Google Classroom.
Gotcha.
Bridget uses Dojo.
When a couple years ago, one of the kids' teachers used that. I freaking like that. That was really good and really organized.
They've used Dojo for years now.
Super
It's a
organized.
great interactive communication between teachers and students.
Yeah. We like that one. And now none of them are using it. And I'm like,
I'll tell you what's
that
funny.
sucks.
Like I was watching all these reels and stuff about all the teacher reels going back to school and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just funny stuff. Like I was literally cracking up, and Bridget's like not laughing. She's like, "You don't understand. That's real. It's not funny. It's true." And I was like, "Well, it's still funny." She's like, "No, it's not." I was like, you need to lighten up.
It hits too close to home.
Yeah, but there was some of them that was like, they looked at the lesson plan, and the one thing so the principal's looking at the teacher and said, "So I see here your lesson plan was stop licking things." She's like, "Yes." And after a good solid day or two, we only have 2 people still doing it. So, it's
so true, though.
Bridget's like, "That's so true." She's like,
no child
class.
left behind. Left behind.
This one guy's like, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and he's like, I didn't used to be. I used to be a fifth grade teacher, but there's not enough Glade in the world for that classroom. And Bridget's like,
dude, that's mad true.
But the converse side of that is once they understand it, they go away for a summer and they find Axe body spray, and then they all show up riding the bus to middle school with.
Yeah,
dude, that's like a freaking headache.
Oh my god, it's like an old lady, that got out of the elevator 20 minutes ago, and you can still smell her.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's the worst.
So I'm gonna tell you a bad one. So Bridget commandeered the van to take Iris and her friends around for the birthday last week, right? So they wanted to gussy it up, So they went to the car wash and cleaned it up and did the whole scent spray. Dude, they picked the cherry blossom one.
No.
I get in there. We're like 2 weeks out, dude. I get in. It just smells like nauseous freaking cherry, and I hate it. It's
they should
awful.
know to make sure to always put black ice.
Dude, and they laugh at me. They're like, "It smells so good." I'm like, gives me a headache and makes me want to vomit. It's horrible. I'm like, there is no dude that sticks to this side that wants that smell in his vehicle, because when somebody walks up, they look at me and go, "Oh, no, my wife did this."
Yeah, I had Bridget's car detail. She wanted her car detailed and get all that stuff done. So I have a retired guy that worked in the auto body for like 45 years or something like that. So
yeah,
his little side job is he'll take a car a day, and his wife will super detail the inside, and he will super detail the outside. I mean, literally like road buffs, scuffs, anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And so we had that done, and we got over there, and Bridget's like, "That was a little bit more than I remember it being." I said, "Yeah, it's a little bit more." I said, "But realistically, he's still severely undercharging for what he did." I mean, he spent 7.5 hours.
Oh dear Lord.
On the car. Like he got like some stuff that came up from the road. He got all that stuff. Did a lot of
clay barred it.
Oh yeah.
He did so much to it. It was so nice when we got done. And the detail in the inside is crazy. I don't even know how she gets in there and does what she does, but they do it. And so they do it as, just some spending cash. They're both retired. And but still they do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably good. It's probably halfway decent money on, I mean, a car. They're not killing themselves. They're doing a car a day. It keeps them active.
Yeah. It keeps them active. I mean, for our cost of living, they don't owe anything. Their house is all paid. They don't have any bills. They don't have anything other than like living expenses.
Yeah.
So it's just, just some free range fun money, and when the weather's good, they do a couple. What's up, Raider Dave?
What is up, Dave?
Stick around, dude. We're going to drop a link in a little bit. So
Yeah.
Stick around, dude. Hope to see you.
Heck yeah, man.
So yeah, he does. So he does a full inside, outside, full cosmetic detail of everything for like 175.
Whoa, dude.
Dude, that's
That's
money.
$1,000, dude. That's $1,000. What you're telling me that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
doing? It's $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Zach, we have a guy like that too. Bridget's dad, his shop, he has an extra garage bay. He rents it out to a guy who does kind of the same thing, only does a few cars a month.
Yep.
And like if things are slow, they'll call us up and be like, "Hey, want to come get your car done?" And then he doesn't have to pay his rent this month. Okay, I'll drop the van off, and he'll do it over 2 days or so. But like any scratches or anything outside, he buffs them out and everything.
What those guys can do, man, with
Yeah,
getting out like
dude's a wizard.
This guy's
Dude's a wizard.
This
I
guy's
have
good.
3 children. Dude's a wizard.
Yeah, he's super good. So yeah, so we'll bring up a little bit of shop talk and all that kind of stuff real quick before we cut over into the open mic type setting. So if anybody goes on right now, we're in the process of changing our credit card processing on the site. So if you go in there and you're not able to do something, just hang tight. We'll re-announce we're changing our credit card processing from one to another. So it'll be just a slight change, going a different route. But other than that, everything's good and on target. Nothing else to report other than that. Things are in process for new releases and stuff like that. That's all there. We just want to get this change done in this little slow time of getting things over before new stuff comes. So
the email for the herp is going out tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So you'll get that. Anybody that bought the Uncommon Valor and stuff, your email's going to go out. We're going to be doing that August 30th.
30th.
It's going to be a Zoom, so the link's coming to you. So you're going to get it in your email. You can click it. It's got all the info in there. It'll put it into your calendar, so it'll remind you. So you'll be good to go.
So it's Friday night. It'll be 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Yep.
Brian, if you bought the cigars or whatever, or in the email list, it'll go out on the Battalion Cigars email list.
Yep. It's all going out tomorrow. But everybody's stuff, everybody who ordered, your stuff's in the wind. It's on its way to you. It's just with the store having the hiccup right now, it's not letting me update things while we're changing processors. But all your stuff is sent. I have your tracking. I'll email it to you because I can still get your email addresses, and I have them. So there's like 3 of you that your stuff's on the way. That I can send you your tracking.
Dave, one of those.
Yep. Dave, Brian,
Walkinger,
and no, Brian and
Walkinger ordered. Fantastic,
no,
man.
No. Brian in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then Stanley Wagner's is going out. Those were the 3 that needed to go out. So those all went out. But I'll email you your tracking. I couldn't put it into the system with us changing this stuff. Sorry about that. That's why it just still said
like
processing.
I said, if you go on there and you try to do something, that's what your issue is. We're in the middle of changing our processing, our credit card processing. So, other than that, yeah, the HERF is 30th. We'll have a Zoom link that'll get emailed out to you guys. Think we decided that was going to be what? 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
8 o'clock Eastern on Friday, August 30th, which is the Friday going into Labor Day weekend. So
I think you did that backwards. I thought it was 7 Eastern, wasn't it?
7 Eastern?
No.
Is he right?
It's 8 Eastern, 7 CST.
7 Central. Oh, okay. I'm in the Central time zone. Sorry, I get those things confused, guys.
Okay.
Oh, Chris.
I don't usually get it confused because I'm usually just only talking Eastern time in my head. So
and when Bobby tells me it, and when Bobby tells me a time, I know that it's generally in Eastern. He'll go, so 10 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Right.
And I know that's not mine, so it works out.
Right.
But we're excited to get to hear what everybody says about the Uncommon Valor 2 Fridays from now.
Yeah.
We're
Dave,
really
your
looking
stuff's
forward.
not lost. I promise you. Your
Awesome,
goods are on
awesome.
the way, man.
All right.
So
Well, I think that was
it's a big enough Zoom call, so there will not be a. Honestly, I pay for the pro, so I can get 100 people on there. So I doubt we'll have that many, but don't feel like you're gonna miss out. If you see 4 or 5 people in there.
Yeah, and if you've never been on a herp, it's a great thing to do. You get to meet a bunch of people, talk about the sticks, get different thoughts. Sometimes it's a good time to sit and hang out and ask questions. No,
It's also a good way to put faces to names as
Yeah.
well.
I should be home.
What's
I should
up?
be home because we're doing the cigar herf that Friday of Labor Day weekend. I should be there,
Yeah.
buddy.
Nice.
So just hit me up. You got my details. You call and leave me amazing messages when you're in the States. So, I expect more this year. You guys have no idea. The message, he calls up and asks for really weird things while he's sitting in the middle of airports. And it's pretty funny.
That's awesome. I need
I
3
can
rolls
only-
of
I
duct tape, 4 tarps, 6
Oh
bottles of
no,
bleach.
no, it's more interesting
3
than that. It's definitely more interesting than that.
Oh no, we're good.
What? What? Bro.
Listen, Dave's been around a while. He knows how that snaggle push shit works.
Dude,
That's
that
funny, though.
hurts,
That's
bro.
super funny.
That hurts, man. Like I thought we were boys.
Tats, you can earn your dugout shirt, buddy.
Yeah. Nice.
That just hurts, Dave. I was gonna say, man, it looks like you guys had a fantastic vacation in Hawaii and you got a beautiful family, but everybody's beautiful but you now.
That's funny though.
Oh man.
Well, you want to throw
Hey,
the
listen, it's not
in there,
called
Chris?
ghosting. It's not called
Yeah.
ghosting. It's not called ghosting. It is called the Irish exit.
Well,
And
if you do it on a Zoom as the host, though, that's a whole nother level of wow.
There's a way to assign the host to other folks. So
there you go. The link is in there.
So the link is in there in the chat. If you decide you want to jump in and talk,
can we also pin that in a comment on IG? Is that possible?
If yeah, hold on.
I think you can copy paste post.
I think I got it here. Give me a
I'm
hot
just
second.
asking, just in case anybody sees it on the IGs. They don't,
Yeah.
They can come straight in.
I can at least get it in the IG. One of you guys is gonna have to pin it because I cannot pin it.
Well, I can't pin it.
Because you can't pin it?
Because I can't really. Hold on, I need to look. Let me see
it's in there. I had to turn it on and turn it off really quick, so
I jump over to my Instagram. Will it do anything to my StreamYard? Because I have to do it on the computer.
I don't know. Bobby, I think can you click the one at the top? Let me try it. You stay where you're at. Let me try this. Nope, it just says you.
Oh no, well, yeah, it showed up as a comment.
Yeah. Hold on.
That way, if anybody comes in, after that comment.
If anything, I'm going to disappear for a second. You guys keep on going. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta love our technical coordinator.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can do it on Bobby's.
because we're
You know,
broadcasting.
Mm.
I can't because you guys, I'm
So
not a mod on there.
did you clear? Um, so you clicked over on Instagram on your computer?
Well, I tried to. I did it on my phone, but
I can't
I'm not a
imagine.
mod on there.
Can't imagine just switching tabs is going to end something.
Yeah, I'm not a
Um,
mod on
do you,
the
Bobby?
Bourbon
Bobby, do
Battalion.
you have do you have a Windows computer?
Yeah.
Okay. Control, Shift, Windows button, right arrow.
Holy coordinated.
What would all that?
That will split your screen into two, and you should be able to see this stream and put your other one to the left, and then you should just be able to be like just there.
So
It's
you
all
said
in
what? Control Shift Window
Control
right.
Shift Window right arrow.
Control Shift Window right.
No
Should have pushed
kidding.
up, and then you see a bunch of
Brian,
tabs.
I agree. That's a lot of punching stuff
It
on
did
there.
not work.
Oh,
No, it's
maybe,
probably only works on the yeah. I
well,
mean,
it
it'll
might.
work, but to pin stuff, you're gonna have to do it from the phone for you guys with IG. You're not gonna be able to do it from the computer for a while. There's been a lot of goofy stuff going on. Like
Yeah,
if
there's a
you're
big
familiar with like
like the
Secreto
StreamYard.
cigars,
Yeah.
like they're shadow banned right now, and like he paid the big fee with Instagram to try to get it all figured out. So his notifications come up. They're not coming up at all. Like I was on his streams earlier when he was
Really?
trying to get it figured out. Yeah. It like if you're looking at his stuff, it'll say he's live, but like the notifications don't work right now.
So weird,
So
man.
yeah, well, a bunch of people tried turning him in for cigars.
What?
On
Uh
Instagram.
huh. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. So
It's not a
he's
violation.
got he's got lawyers involved, and not at
Oh.
Instagram, but Instagram is working with him to get the people's
Oh.
because it's a few things doing it over and over.
Wow. And
I
who is
Mm.
this?
understand.
Who is this? It happened to?
Secreto cigars in
Yeah.
Detroit or Ferndale. Like, dude, they're a kick ass shop. Like,
No, that dude gets some shit, dude.
he gets everything. Like, if you look at his stuff and they ship, he has everything. Like everything. Every Tatawahe you can imagine, every Fuente, every Dunbarton, special Dunbartons made just for him.
All the
You know,
bougie
like
stuff. Like
it
it's
goes
wild.
on and on and on. Aladdin, Atabays, everything.
Right. Well, if you're on Insta and you want to jump over here and get on the chat and whatever, just jump into YouTube. Come to Bourbon Tiny YouTube, subscribe to it, whatever, and then come into the chat, and then you can just click the StreamYard chat.
Yeah.
I want so bad to see if I can click over on Instagram, but if I do, a shot, shoot it down, because I've done that before.
Well,
I feel like I remember one time doing it, and it shut. It ended the stream.
I'm in here though as a mod, and on StreamYard. So if I'm here or you're here, it won't do that. If one of us is in here, it won't shut down the stream.
Let me try.
Yeah, try. Go ahead. I'm in here, so it won't shut it down.
I mean, it's worth a shot, right? I'm sorry
Mm-hmm.
I caused a bunch of fucking problems. I was just trying to make sure that anybody jumped in after that comment was made,
Yeah, dude, they're trying to do so much stuff with StreamYard right now, which is good.
I just pinned it on Instagram.
Perfect.
Awesome.
You're
still here.
But they're trying. Like even with the iPad now, they've got it where it will do external cameras now with the iPad. Now they're trying to get it to do external mics because everything for StreamYard has to go through Safari. That's a StreamYard thing. That's not an iPad thing. It's StreamYard. They don't work with Chrome on the mobile. Don't make sense of that.
So, not if you're on Apple.
Yeah.
Is that why I've had to do that before? Because I've noticed before I've had to go through.
Yeah.
I did StreamYard. I had to go through Safari.
Yep.
Huh.
Have to go through there, and that's right on StreamYard. Like StreamYard's adding a lot of stuff. Like you can do Rumble on here now too.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
You know, yeah.
Well, I can tell you what.
So-
Now that I'm starting to acclimate like this, this little book is good. It's just I haven't had. I mean, it's the was a book batch 2.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Batch 2 of 2018.
Dude, there's little books have been good.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had some that like were okay, but
I question some of the ones that got really young for the price. You know, when we had 2, 3, and 4-year-old in there, and that was the first year they jumped the price up. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I had a bit of a question to that. You know, it's hard for me to say, yeah, that's 160 for 2, 3, and 4-year-old. You know,
Yeah.
but then they come swinging and dropping some 18 and 20-year-old in the next one.
wow, no wonder this is complex. I didn't even read to see what the blend is. It's an 8-year Kentucky straight rye, a 40-year Canadian whiskey, and a 13-year Canadian rye whiskey.
Yeah.
Tell you, man.
I love the notes because it's so minimal. It said slightly lingering, warm and spicy finish.
You know, that's Freddie for you, dude. When Freddie was doing everything. Now his son's doing it. So the notes have got a little better. You know, the blends have got a little more complex last year.
But you know, it is exactly what he says. It hangs around
Yeah.
a little bit. It's not a super long finish, but it does have it has a really, really good a cinnamon spice floating in there. That's the barrels.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's the barrel spice and the rye.
Mm-hmm.
Get that kicker in the back from that 40-year Canadian. But I'm not upset with it being a 40-13-8. That's a good
Yeah.
blend.
It's funny you say those notes. This Jepson barrel strength, it's got a little cinnamon to it. You know, and I haven't drank anything cinnamony for a while.
No, I haven't either.
It was a little shock to the palate at first. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
warm, but I know it's low proof or lower. It's like, well, considering what I drink. So it's like 116.
Yeah, I've been really
It's
low key as far
got-
as smoking and drinking lately. We haven't really done a whole lot because I take my fair share of plenty of breaks.
Man.
So how's your clam bake tasting?
Man, this is one of my favorite Coliolas. That's why it was sitting at a around down here before I poured it. That's why I picked it up. I was like, well, it's probably about time, man. It's probably about time.
Trying to usher that
Yeah.
guy down the river.
Oh wait, this was a U.S. exclusive. Okay, that's just good, man.
So yeah, the one I'm doing, Brian, is 2018 batch 2.
Oh, hey, we're getting international, boys. You ready for this?
Sure.
Oh, holy hell!
Howdy doody.
Australia, the Aussies are in the house.
What's up, Chris?
Oh, living the dream.
Nice.
Thought I'd pop in and say, yeah, it's only a few days before we fly over.
Nice.
And you're flying to Illinois?
No, we're flying into Dallas first.
Oh,
So we're
Nice.
catching up with that from Whiskey Crusaders for a couple of days. Then Lil goes up to Chicago. I go to Kentucky for the first home game for the UK. And then I fly up to Chicago on the Sunday.
Nice.
And we're up there until the Friday, I think, when we fly to Vegas.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
I need to get up there. I need to get up there and see Matt, but just to see
The castle.
The new
the
place.
whole castle,
Yeah.
man. You know,
Yeah,
I'm just
he's
so-
been telling me about it, man. You know, I'm trying to get Bill there. He
I'm
wants
gonna
Bill
make
to
a
come
trip.
there
I'm
and
gonna
do a
make a trip
class.
there. I'll be down in Dallas Fort Worth area in the week of the 9th. I'll be down there for work, but I already told them hey, I have a little trip I got to make.
That's for sure, man. You know, it's just that Matt, Will, and Sarah are such good people. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're-
we're going to be having a look at the castle when we're there. So
Very cool. Very, very,
I
very,
know,
very cool.
I know. Matt's wife was happy to get some of her her house back.
That's what he told me. He told me she was very thrilled that there weren't tubs after tubs anymore.
That's such a weird thing. How do you? I don't know. You can't do that up here. So I know there's so many rules that are so much different in so many different areas. But
Well, dude, in Dallas, you know this, the private clubs are the shit, man.
yeah,
There are so many private clubs in the Dallas area where you just pay your membership. They have the whiskey there. They have pretty much it's an open bar because your membership pays for that.
right.
You have your lockers for your bottles that are yours. You have your own cigars in there.
Well, that's what what I've talked about. That's what part of
Yeah.
the club plan that I have down the road.
God, that is so good.
I had like a year and a half ago. I had the location for it in Wisconsin completely locked down. The only problem in Wisconsin is you have to buy out somebody's pre-existing license from before 2008.
wow.
Good luck with that.
Like the building was perfect. It's a 2-story building, but like half of the building, it's just full floor to ceiling, and it's an all old brick building that's got all the HVAC in it already. It's got a perfect front room, like the perfect front room to put in the humidor and come in, but then you glass it off and it's the cigar room with stairs that go upstairs, and there's an outdoor patio on the roof, which is perfect. But up in that top area, perfect area to put all the lockers and stuff. I had it all drawn up, all mocked out. The guy who owned the building owned several restaurants. He was all in. And we couldn't find a license that anybody wanted to sell that wasn't, mind blowing.
Astronomical.
So, Chris,
Yeah,
what are you sipping on over there?
Nothing, because I've got to go for a drive shortly. I've got to go into town and pick up Leanne's car. So
Gotcha. Smart decision.
Well, I mean, it's
So,
what?
yeah.
What is it? Is it 10 o'clock in the morning or is it 8 o'clock in the morning?
It's 20 to 1 in the afternoon over here. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
but
Very nice.
I've got a special glass which I'm bringing over for a few people this year, Chris. I've got one assigned for you.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Oh, that's
Hold
cool.
on. Let's solo this. I gotta, hold on. It's with the iPad, so it's funky. Oh, dude. Hell yeah.
It's for
I can't see what it
Mill.
says, but I know what it is.
It's for Kellington Mill, which is
Okay.
an Australian distillery down in Tasmania.
Awesome.
And the X is where the G spot is. I mean, that's where the Kellington Mill is.
I love it, dude. That is so freaking cool. Hell yeah, dude.
So I got them. They were sent up to me from the distillery to bring over.
That's fantastic.
So Tats, you're coming to see the dugout. What side? What?
That's to go with your stubby, your koozie from last year, man.
Yes, I love that koozie. My wife stole it. I'll tell you that.
You need another one.
So what size shirt, buddy? Since you're coming up here.
2XL.
All right, I'll have it prepped and ready for you.
Don't worry, I've got just a few koozies coming with me.
Just a couple.
Do you guys know what these koozies are? They're amazing.
Yeah. No,
Go down south with your mouth.
That's amazing.
And then see you in the Northern Territory.
Yeah. See.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. See. Yeah. That's what that is. Sure. That would happen to be their favorite noun, adjective.
It's everything.
I know.
Well, yeah, but it's missing the bloody part. Bloody.
And then I've got T Rob's shirt for him to go to the gym in.
Is it a medium?
Oh, that is amazing.
He said he's going to wear that proudly to the gym.
Are the sleeves pre-cut?
Yeah, it's a muscle shirt.
Yeah.
So no
All
sleeves.
right. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Pre-cut sleeves. Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, heck yeah,
That's
I
dude.
need to be big hole for T Rob, so
That's so great. Oh,
I love it, man.
cheers, ASMR.
Cheers to you, sir.
okay, Andrew. We'll
Dan
see
OB,
you in,
what's going on, man?
We'll see you in about 2 weeks, Andrew.
When are you,
I know Dan OB's gotten his sticks already.
yeah, when are you going to be in Texas, you say?
We fly into Texas next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
So on Tuesday. So
Yeah, no.
He's a week before. He's a
Yeah.
week before you're going to be there.
Yeah. Actually,
Dude, I can't believe it's already that time of year.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks before.
2 weeks. Yeah.
But you're making your way up to Chris's?
Yeah.
When are you going to be up there?
that'll be Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend. God, stupid kid. I would bail on my family in a heartbeat if it wasn't for the fact my daughter's coming home from we haven't seen her in 4 years. And I don't know that I could sit there and be like, hey, nice to see you. I got to go.
That might be a problem.
It's not my fault she was gone. That was her
We're
decision.
gonna be in Chicago until the 6th, I think it is, Friday the 6th.
So you're getting there on Labor Day or Labor Day weekend?
Lil flies in on the 30th.
Okay.
I get to Chicago on the 1st.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm going to the first UK game at in Lexington on the 31st.
So you're flying into Chicago?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sweet.
That's awesome. I hope you guys have a blast. I hope y'all have a blast.
Oh, it'll be a blast. It'll be a blast.
I know. I remember the tour last year. How many bottles,
I made it to the Kentucky part of the tour.
How many bottles got sent home last year?
A case of that to bring over.
Oh, the unfiltered rare breed, non-chill filtered.
Nice.
Export only.
Oh, wow.
I love that shit. That stuff is so good.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, until you have it, you don't really realize how big of a difference it is with that product.
Yeah.
There's some products it makes a difference, but not like
not like a signature, like
some of the Weller picks, the non-chill filters, they're wow, but not all of them are. That rare breed, you're like, whoa, why don't they do this?
Yeah.
Why don't they do this? Like,
that's
just a no-brainer on that bottle. That's a no-brainer on that bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm changing from Little Book.
Dude, I'm trying to be that guy that only brings one thing out from now on when I'm outside. Because
I'm not outside, so
at the end of the night, trying to pick everything up and go back inside, and
yeah.
Well, that was like last weekend for Lil's and my 25th anniversary. We had people around, and I think we end up with about 40 odd bottles on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of this Glenlivet. Let me try this one. I haven't had.
And we didn't even get around to cracking half of the stuff that I wanted to crack because we had people brought stuff and.
Well, the problem with that is, Chris, I wasn't there. We'd have cracked everything.
You would have had an RSI then, because
I'll tell you what, should have been cracked. Anything I was told I was allowed to crack would be cracked.
Although we did crack a William LaRue Weller 125 proof for our tasting.
Oh, see, you should have cracked that.
We did.
He said he did.
That
okay.
one.
He said he did.
That was our tasting bourbon at the end of the night.
So it's really funny. Like,
nice.
Bourbon came here, and Hickey was here, and Gunny was here, and years ago, my brother gave Bourbon a pretty nice bottle. He gave him like a old ancient age.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben never cracked it. So he brought it and he said, "Hey, you know what? I didn't feel as though I could crack this and have it pour without having it with you." And he handed it to Steve. Steve said, "I'm not opening it." And I snapped it out of his hand, ripped it out of the box, and crack. Broke that open and poured the first drink. And I was like, "You guys, we need to fix your crackability."
Well, I can respect the sentiment. You know what I mean? It was a gift, and he saved it to be able to crack it.
Well, I think it was classy. He came back and did it with Steve.
Yeah,
but, they were both having a hard time opening it because it still was tax stamped in the original box from I remember if it was 70s or 80s, but somewhere back in there.
It was late 70s.
Yeah, and I just literally I was like, "You, glug."
There we go.
Well,
I'm still trying to figure this out here.
Take it with you.
No.
And if you think about it, as much as you normally would average how much you drink a day, how long is it going to take you to finish your collection? Your collection will never get finished.
No.
Well,
Mine won't. I don't drink enough.
I made mine a mission statement.
I drink with you guys on Wednesday, and then I pick one day a weekend, and sometimes that don't even happen.
Well,
we just have so much going on with the kids running around.
Worst part is I've got another 200 bottles sitting in the States. So,
see, you know what? When you're sitting there like, "Wow, I wish I knew somebody," you do. I promise. And it's funny because some people would be misconstrued by that and think I sit and drink a lot. I don't. It's just that I like to sip as I smoke my cigar and all that kind of stuff. So you naturally, over time, drink a lot of stuff.
Open a lot of stuff.
You also have your brother that comes over. Clint comes over. Other people from the community come over. It's not just you. It's not just you.
Yeah, I know. It's not. You trust me. I sip. The Gunny drinks. My sip is like a third of his sip. So.
Yeah, that's like here.
He's got a couple years on you, buddy. He's allowed to do that.
Oh, he needs to do it. He's in a different situation. That's a fact.
That's where my wild turkey collection now is pretty well safe after my brother passed away last year. So it was never safe when he was here.
Marty, what's up, buddy?
We appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, Marty.
So yeah, you'll get to Chris. You'll get to have that when you come.
Yeah, cool.
Do we have the? Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, well, I just retapped it.
Chris has it. Chris has some of those at the house, and so I'm sure that Chris will get a chance in the Doug when they go over there.
I don't know if everybody can see how freaking absolutely light that is.
Oh yeah, I just see a twinge of yellow in there.
I mean, it
light crispness.
It's got that ring of water.
There's
ring of water.
There's not a ton of what you would expect, like smokiness. You know, it's all like brine, the iodine, like small medicinal note. You know, the like the seafood sweetness. You know, a little bit of lemon, dude.
It's like going to the Japanese restaurant and ordering some amaebi sushi.
Or like going to our
Sweet
Japanese
shrimp.
restaurant and ordering chicken wings. Bizarre. We have an edamame. We have one called edamame, Japanese restaurant and wings. I was so fascinated. The first thing I ordered when I went there was wings. I was like, "What? Why do they have wings?" I was like, "I want to try it."
Dude, I forget where I was. It was either Iowa or North Dakota. There was a pizza and sushi restaurant.
But dude, they had some like cool stuff to try. Like, I mean, they had like the regular wing stuff, but they had a couple different ones. And like clockwork, me and my one daughter said, we want some yum yum sauce to dip our wings in. And it was weird. It was weird but different. Like they had a lemon pepper, a ginger, and a soy. And I was like, I'm game for trying it.
I can see that.
But they had all the original ones too,
Of course.
Well, we're going to a Starwood tasting night this weekend with the David, the owner's actually over from the US.
Okay, he's back.
Yeah, for
Mr.
a
Vidal.
So I'll harass him about when he's going back over, if he's going to be in Seattle again when I'm over there.
Nice.
Do you want me to harass him about your pick barrel? What happened to that barrel of that pick that Chris did?
Negatory Ghost Rider.
Negative. No. They used to send me packages all the time of cool shit. I don't get those anymore because of that. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So have you still got much of the ginger beer cask left, or did that all go last year?
I got a little bit left. But you know what? Dude, when you're here, you brought up Starward. I have a 1-of-1 Starward bottle. I have a bottle that they did for me and sent to me that says it's the Big League Bourbon bottle.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
Was that before or after?
Before.
If it was after,
that was one.
I want to pour that. Wait,
no, it was
really light.
Yeah, no, it was before. I've never opened it. Like I was like, oh, this is just cool. It's like a 1-of-1 from them, Big League Bourbon. Who am I going to drink that with now?
That's cool.
Hey, the Aussie's here. We're cracking that bad boy. And then I'll make sure. I'll make sure when we do that, how we've talked about having some different nights. I have some all different Star Wars stuff. I'll make sure to get those to you, and we'll just all have a Star Wars night. Because I got that ginger beer pass. So I'll get you that. I'll get you the Big League Bourbon special bottle made just for me.
Dave, I'll tell you what,
and some other stuff.
That would be like a dream thing: Chinese food and pizza.
Because that ginger beer cask is just absolutely phenomenal.
It's so effervescent.
Yeah,
like it's a whiskey that reminds you of a champagne.
So, Roy Aquavite did that. One of his first releases was it was through Loch Lomond, and they used the Chardonnay yeast, and it was that way. It had that.
Okay.
It had that. That effervescence, on the palate, It's not that it was fizzy or anything, but it definitely
no, but it feels like it, doesn't it? Yeah. That's how that ginger beer is.
It's got that pop roxy feel,
Yeah.
Like something's
So
melting
clean. It's
away.
it's
Yeah.
such a clean flavor, you know. Like all the flavors pop, but it's so clean, you know, which is wild.
That was an interesting bottle. Whatever he did this last time, I ordered the bottles. It was, I don't know. The Royal Mile's supposed to be shipping. I'm supposed to get an update whenever it hits the States. You know, they give me a tracking once it hits the States. But it takes like a
Okay,
month and a half to get here. So
makes sense.
I don't know. We'll see. His stuff's been good so far. You know, the Ardent Americans were good. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
I love those.
well, and you know, those
All right,
were.
guys. Well, I've got to drop off. I've got a few things to do that I've got to go into town and pick up Lil's car. So
Yeah,
All
good to
right.
see you,
I
buddy.
thought
Hopefully
Well,
I don't
feeling,
talk to you
be
anymore. Safe
get
travels.
get in touch and we'll figure everything out, buddy.
yeah. Well, I'll reach out to you this weekend. But yeah,
Okay.
be prepared for messages from an unknown Texas number when I get in.
Yeah, I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
I'll think up some good ones again after last year's.
Dear Lord, dear Lord. I don't know if you can get better, but if you can, dear Lord.
Yeah, you should have seen the looks that I was getting when I was leaving that message in the overall club.
That's what I was telling these guys earlier. Like, you got no idea. You got no idea what he was saying. I can only imagine the people around him.
Yeah.
I know Lil was laughing. I'm like, oh dear Lord. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting at work trying to keep a straight face going.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Chris, y'all
So
have
easy,
a
guys.
safe trip.
No worries. I'll talk to you over the next few days anyway, Chris. But guys, hopefully catch up with you on stream while we're over there anyway.
All right, sounds good, bud.
See you guys.
See ya.
Later.
What's
That's
up,
awesome.
JD, over on Insta?
That's awesome.
What up?
Man.
What up? What up?
JD
Oh,
Bourbon
yeah,
Approach. You guys know
they're
JD.
fun to hang out with. JD's back in the States again.
Yep.
You know, it's after everything they went through, man. You know,
Yeah,
just
man.
to see them living it up is
Oh, dude, last year getting to hang out with them a couple days in a row was so much fun, man.
I'm not
It really was.
saying that they're in a
After all
chance,
the time of knowing them,
they're in a chance that I don't know whether I could sneak up or not, but if there's a fighting chance, I'll make it happen. I can't promise anything though.
man.
water, drink your water.
I'm being good. Being good. You know.
So JD said I finally picked up the Glen Scotia Mermaid yesterday.
Oh,
We picked up his family
Mermaid or merman?
from Mermaid. All this Scotch talk has me wanting Scotch.
man. I'm sorry about that.
And that's okay. This Glendalic, it's light and it's easy to drink, but it's not.
Listen, Glendalough is it is. It's very just drinkable. You know what I mean? The thing about it is though is it's at the price point. I think it offers a decent value
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
for
I
a
like
lot of flavor.
It's just a little bit lighter than where I want to be right.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Oh man,
That's a good cigar, man. I liked what Justin was putting out, man. I always liked his cigars.
so what's he up to nowadays?
I hadn't seen much of him, man. I think they got busy. I think they just got busy with freaking life, you know.
Hey, why that
It
happens?
was kind of a COVID thing, you know, and
You get back into routines and all that stuff, and you saw that pretty much across IG
All
and
of it.
YouTube. Yeah, you saw people that were out there every day. You don't see hardly at all. So JD said his wife got him a duty-free Jack Daniel's bottled in bond 1 liter for $30.
Nice.
Can't argue with that.
You
It
know,
says a nice-
and that one's totally different than the one we get here. Another one that's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the
Is
thing
it-
about duty frees, though. They are.
Is it one of those things where they don't think that like the American market is ready for those flavors, or do they just think that they want to offer just something totally off the wall for duty free?
I don't know.
That's part of it.
I've walked into duty frees that I've walked into some of them that have are just like basic, right? I've walked into other ones where you're like everything you've looked for forever is sitting there in droves. And I always find it when I'm not going international.
Right. Dude, when I see the videos from Heathrow on the scotches that you guys talk about, and it's every rare one ever, and I look at the prices and I'm like,
yeah, I've seen
what? That's so cheap compared to here. Come on.
Heathrow's a really good place for that. There's a couple actually. There's a couple really good places to get scotch and stuff like that. If you go to like Arlanda, which is the Stockholm airport.
Okay. Well, you were telling me all the stuff in Stockholm.
Yeah, Stockholm, Sweden liquor stores out in town. Just droves of whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah. My guy Robert, that's in Michigan there. He was just over there and he was picking up all kinds of stuff. Like he loaded his one suitcase with like Blanton's Gold because they were like $80.
Well, that's because you haven't had ours yet, Dave.
He was like, I gotta buy them. I don't want them, but I gotta buy them. They're so cheap.
Tony does a great job. I love a lot of what they do.
Yeah.
I've loved every special release that he's done for honestly for anybody.
Is that our monthly pack?
It is the monthly pack, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had one that I found that like was off mark for everything else, but just once. Which, you're not going to, let's be real, and it could have just been a flavor profile. It could have been just whatever.
I think that's what it was.
They're coming. They're en route.
They're coming, man. Your shirts, your cigars.
You're going to have to be patient, let them relax.
Yeah.
Well, I think he'll get them in enough time to let them.
Yeah, you have enough time to wait for the herf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I've said this several times. I'm really excited to just see everybody start to get that, what we were so excited about, to get to experience it. Because,
dude, like I told you, everybody that's replied to me or everybody that's had them with me has had nothing but glowing statements. And like I told them, I want you to do it on your own. Just come back and tell me what you think when you're done, and tell me what you think 100% transparent. Don't fluff me. Be honest. And everybody's been cool about that, and they've all ordered. They've all ordered after they had it. So, I had great comments.
That's the statement, right? Right. That's the ultimate statement. Is they had it, and then boom, they went on and ordered it, and if it's
dude,
good enough,
and the biggest one of that I'll give you out of that whole event. So that night there was a gentleman there. I didn't know him. And he saw everybody coming and talking about them. And he's like, is there a chance I can get one of those to try? He's like, if it's good, I'm ordering. I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I gave him one. Instantly, next morning, he ordered.
Nice.
He told me while he had it, he's like, this is really good. He goes, thank you for sharing this with me. And I'm going to be ordering. And boom, next morning, he ordered. And like, I didn't know him from anybody at that event, He came to me because he saw everybody talking about them and saying how good they were nowhere around me, and asked if he could try it. And
so I got some giddy up in my step today after having a pretty dismal morning. I had, but I had some giddy up in my step, when I found out that someone reached out to somebody and from a shop and said that they wanted to put in a order for their shop. So that's why I'm like, we got to, I want to get that changeover done quick.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely, man.
yeah.
I just think once these first orders go out, and I really do think that there's going to be a groundswell, that happens because of it. It just
Well, I think the thing when you have a portfolio and you build a portfolio and your cigars meet the.
well,
Yeah. Oh, you're right, JD. Dubai has some of the best stuff. They released a Bushmill 43 for $12K. I would never pay $12K.
There's a crazy old Bushmill here at the Woodman's, like that's in the upper 30s or 40. There's that 30. I think we have a 33 or 34-year-old Teeling here. The prices are insane. They're like 3 or 4K a piece.
When I was at the duty free in Singapore, there was a lot, and I was just like, ugh.
well, but honestly, if you think about it, Irish whiskey fits into the Asian market very, very, very well.
Yeah.
In profile, right?
Oh, 100%.
Just the way that they're naturally structured, those whiskeys are distilled, then it just works with what the Asian market really enjoys. Because a lot of them are not drinking it straight; they're drinking it in highballs. You know what I mean? And it's their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, some of the craziest bartending videos I've ever seen are those Asian bartenders, and those guys that are like shaving down the ice ball
with the little katanas and stuff
to fit in. Yeah, the little Tonto freaking tips. But it's it is the attention to detail that it is a scoop. They twist it, bam. So listen, man. Anybody else that wants to jump in? This is everybody's welcome night.
Yeah.
We really didn't have much planned. We're just sitting around hanging out, just kind of having a night to get to talk to everybody. So anybody that wants to jump on, smash that StreamYard link and come on in.
I'll probably pick up in about a half hour. That's when
Yeah.
That's when a lot of the other ones get over.
Yeah, they'll be wrapping up, after parties and stuff like that. You'll probably, Thursday night usually you have Whack, you have
you got Whack, you got Calori.
Yeah.
And then you get that out there.
It's a good night of a lot of people.
The good thing is, as I always hear, a lot of people, that I talk to, they'll go back and then they'll follow up and look at it later. And so you just go through and do your thing, right? I know that, we get a chance on YouTube to see some of our old tube friends, stuff like that.
Oh, 100%. 100%, man.
Definitely noticed a lack of the Instagram that would normally be here.
Mm-hmm.
I think because the interaction and that stuff is so different and so not normal. So
it's good to mix it up, though.
Well, but kind of hoping that this spans that, right? It fills that gap that
over time. Yeah.
So we're just trying to get out there to as many people as possible on as many platforms at the same time. And
totally.
StreamYard being able to make this, to be simulcast to the other, to both platforms at the same time is extremely helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you smoking on now? You were getting towards the end of yours.
I can't remember what this is, honestly. It just says number 2 on it.
Nice. So I never said, but I got the Tatawahe Cayenne. 2012,
Oh,
the Sumatra release when they did I believe there
okay.
was 3 different ones this year.
So Zach, JD said he picked up a 1974 single grain Invergordon,
Oh, that's a bomb right there, dude.
40,
Inver Gordon.
44-year-old for
For what?
$300.
Wow.
Listen, dude, those are steals, man. And listen, those
Wow.
are
We were
freaking.
just talking about the prices in those ages at
No,
3 and
no,
4
but
grand.
but
300?
but but you're talking for malts. These are grains.
Oh,
Grains
okay.
don't have
Okay.
single grains do not have the same following. But those single grains, when they get up there in age, the complexity that is there is on par with 20+ year old freaking malt.
Right on.
It's hard to distinguish, and for the price point, I mean, it's there's such value, and Invergordon is one of those that is just is a fantastic single grain distillery. They I think it was end of last year. I started to find the 10 and the 18 and the 20 here in the states, and I mean
Okay.
the 20. If you caught them on sale, you could get the 18 for like a buck 10, and I think the 20 was like 120, 125. Normally like 160. But listen, those are wonderful releases. Even the 10 at freaking like $80. That's a wonderful whiskey, man. Maybe the 18 wasn't. Maybe the 18 was $100. Maybe that's what it was. 18 was $100. 120 for the 20, I think. But if y'all are I found them at Total Wine. So if you got a Total Wine in your area, look for Ember Gordon.
Okay.
It's a fantastic looking box and label. Packaging on it is killer. But the juice inside, please do not shy away from it saying single grain and you thinking that it's something less. It's a phenomenal product. Um, Man, probably need to go pick another one of those up. I'm never in like I have to make special trips for Total Wine because
Yeah, Total
either
Wine for me is over an hour.
yeah, well, I mean it's not that bad, but I mean like I gotta go north, 20 minutes, or I gotta go south to uh uh kind of Willowbrook area, which honestly that whole area has gone downhill when at
Did you
one
say
time.
Willowbrook?
Yeah,
That's the main road I live off of.
that's awesome.
And my daughter's school is called Willowbrook. The
Willowbrook.
funny thing, so here's the funny thing. The 2 roads here are Prairie Hill and Willowbrook. The boys go to Prairie Hill School, which is on Willowbrook Road. The daughter goes to Willowbrook School on Prairie Hill Road.
That's hilarious.
They
Well,
were
That's
thinking.
that
They were
back
thinking there.
back
dude.
in the
That sounds
day,
very Illinois.
Uh-huh.
back in the day, Willowbrook was like the really nice mall, out kind of in the burbs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, of course you had the Galleria, which was in
Yeah.
the downtown area, or kind of east of there, or west of there. But then we had the older mall, which was called Greenspoint, which that started to go downhill. So everybody started to call it Guns Point, and I mean it didn't change. It just got worse. And now, honestly, like I don't mind Zoe going to Willowbrook Mall or the Woodlands Mall by herself, but I'm like she's going to Willowbrook, she's going with somebody. Like I would not have her go out there by herself because
Makes sense.
it's not the greatest area that it used to be. It's
Yeah.
kind of sad, man. It's kind of sad to see those things happen.
Dude,
Areas that
tell
used
me
to
about
be.
it. Like our good mall here locally, um, turned into that. Like everything was good. We've had a lot of stores leave because all of a sudden there was stuff happening in the parking lots. With people shooting at people in the parking lots out of nowhere. I was like, what? At the mall? Here? Like, that was never heard of that my whole life.
What
Then all of a
happened to the
sudden-
good old days when you met him at the arcade and got in a fist fight?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, why do you got to have like a gun? Like,
But
you know,
I mean,
find
here's the
someone to
thing.
go whip their ass or get your ass whooped. At least you were just like,
It's not. It's not.
What's
It's
up,
not the way
Katie?
now, man.
Katie!
Hi, Katie. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks
hopefully you
that-
guys got your sticks. I know you got some from Chris. I know Ben's down in that area, so
Yep. Well, Ben's at their house right now. He's at Turk Vegas.
yeah, he has a couple to give them. So if he hasn't given you some, he has some. Just saying. No, I know he's giving you guys some.
He better have.
So I tell you, Katie, I freaking love the French presses. I love them.
By the way, Bridget's company has tried one of yours so far. They're trying a second one this week on Friday.
Nice.
They like the first one.
Awesome.
Did you ever get that email sent back out? Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you get a
Yes.
response?
Yes. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk probably Friday morning.
So
Asher,
it was a
Hey,
run
Joe.
of 1,000. Yeah, it was the first one was a run of 1,000. Now the next few will be runs of 500s because we're trying to get selection
Up the portfolio.
up the portfolio.
this was also a cigar that we expected to have in stock.
Yeah,
This was this is the flagship cigar. So we went out and put our best foot forward
so
by far.
yes, JD, it's outside of Houston.
Outside Houston, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just north of Houston proper. So I'm about 25 miles north of
Yeah, Joe,
down,
you'll be able to get some. Listen, Joe, I think you know how to get a hold of me. Just whenever
Yes.
you're ready, DM me. Just get a hold of me. You know how to get a hold of me.
we can push one to the side. It's not one or two to the side. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We'll get stuff out. We can still
Yeah,
get
well,
stuff
we
out.
know-
While
we
while
work
the
around
transition's happening, there's
We can
workarounds.
still work around it as long as, if someone DMs me and I say, hey, do this, I can do it. There's still ways of getting around it. So if someone wants to, how did you make out in the chat? Well, I tell you, I didn't use tongue. That's for sure.
He was talking to Ben about Chattanooga. And you were talking about using tongue.
He's like, how did you make
And
out?
Bobby's the one that says I'm always the one saying the weird shit.
No, we're all good. All good, Joe.
We'll get
I
everybody on board.
I was just gonna say the beard got in the way, but that's here nor there.
No, you're out of the way.
Yo, you wonder why that part's white. You know what they say, man.
That's why I've been.
And that's why all three of us.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying I've been with the same person for 35 years, but I have.
Oh man,
Uh,
what you doing, Marty?
JD's saying Katy, Texas.
Zach's not Katy, Texas. Oh, dude, that's just east. That's just east of
I thought it
downtown,
was
man.
Caddy. I thought it was
Katy,
Caddy, not Katie.
Katy, it's
K-H-Y.
Katy.
Technically, with the Y at the end, it should be, but we know everybody doesn't pronounce anything the way it should be.
It's Katy.
I'm going to disagree. I'm from Illinois.
Well,
And y'all say Illinois.
I don't. You have never heard me say Illinois.
I know.
I
Hey,
say
man,
I say it all the time.
I say Illinois. It's like when you say Louisville, there is no S.
That's right.
Yeah, it's Louisville. I was down in
Leave me and
Louisville.
watch you three. Well,
Marty, how's the new house, dude? I saw you make the post. How's the new house, man? Saw you had some
what
good
if
pours there.
Marty, the link is in the chat to jump in. Jump in. What are y'all bashful or something? So if you're
Oh,
outside, maybe
new
that's
house. He's probably on the porch naked. I mean, dude, as long as it's from the neck up, man, I don't really give a shit.
So I went
Zach,
over.
you
know,
don't
I
care either way. You were just wearing a shirt last night.
Is Illinois a state? I get confused. Barely, but yes.
Who said that?
I think JD did on
JD.
freaking Instagram. Oh, that's
A guy in
funny.
California really asked if Illinois is a state. Come on, we're in the same shit, dude. Come on.
Oh God, but oh my goodness, that's fucking hilarious.
Let's see if there he is. What's up?
Marty!
He's in a delay.
It's frozen.
You know, his new house's Wi-Fi or cell site. One of the. I can tell you this: if Marty can hear me, it's been my experience that a lot of times, if you're outside and you have a really crappy signal, turn your Wi-Fi off and go straight to your cell signal.
Yeah, dude, I have the iPad connected to my phone's Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Wi-Fi, but like it's
You hear me?
actual Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I
buddy.
hear you now.
I don't know.
I can
No,
hear you.
It'll catch up. Is what it is. So Marty Newhouse, you're still in North Carolina though, right?
Yeah.
He's configuring.
Yeah, I don't know if he's in North or South. I think he's in North. He was in North, right?
Yeah. I just didn't know if he was still there with the new house.
Yeah, that was one of the areas that we used to look at where we thought we would get like a secondary home someday and all that stuff.
A bungalow.
Most likely, if we were to get something like that, it would probably be down in South Carolina.
It makes sense for you guys to be in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Your wife wants her toes in the sand.
What's that?
I said,
Come
your
to
wife-
Illinois. We got fake
Your-
beaches.
I said your wife wants her toes in the sand.
Yeah, she wants her toes in the sand.
I don't blame her. My wife wants her toes
Hey.
in the sand too.
Come to Illinois. There's
Eventually.
no hurricanes.
But we don't
We
want
got
to have.
sand. We got
don't wanna
sand
have-
beaches.
We don't want to be able to catch night crawlers in our sand. That's the thing.
Come on now. It's a snack or it's fishing bait. Come on.
That's, you know, we don't need to be at the beach and put our toes in and pull out worms. If I want to do that, I'd just do it here.
I mean, to do that here, there's no beach. It's just mud.
So JD asked a question. She said, why is St. Cloud so cheap now? He said, what is St. Cloud so cheap now? I'm thinking that why.
Dude, I don't even think they're putting out anything anymore.
I was gonna say I haven't. Even seen
Is it all?
I think
discontinued?
I think Ray did not survive the fallout, just like he didn't survive the fallout in the wine world. That he had his issues in. He came to the bourbon world. He was pumping hard, but had some of the same issues. You want to know? Go look him up. I ain't getting into it. And I think it just fell apart. It's not and his wine. It wasn't because it wasn't good. The bourbon, not because it wasn't good. I mean, you know, it was Heaven Hill distillate, and some of the stuff they were doing was awesome. Like they did that cold experiment, keeping the barrels isolated and cold. They had one where it was also in heat, so it was completely in a room, kept at a constant high temperature for a short amount of time. And I'm telling you, dude, their experiments worked because it tasted a good 5+ years older than it was.
He said he got a
Wow.
small batch yesterday for $35 when it used to be $100.
Oh yeah, dude. Like they
Somebody,
him and Vic pulled some bottles out of K&L for, I want to say they were getting them for around $60. JD can correct me, but I think it was like $60, and they were ones that were normally like 149.
Wow.
Like those are steals, dude, because those bottles are really good. They were
they're
really
just trying to
good.
make their money back. They're just trying to make their money
Yeah.
back at that point. They don't care about the profit. They're just like, I just want the cash flow back. At least I didn't lose anything.
Hmm.
Trying to recoup.
Well, even at this point, we know they're losing. We know they're losing on it. But just to get something back and get them moved off the shelf,
Absolutely.
it's a business. You got to do something at these stores. You can walk into a store and you see all the stuff sitting, and I've talked about it from the business
Yep.
standpoint, and that right now is holding up other brands that are viable.
Yeah, he said it was
That
$50 a K&L.
Yeah, that places can't do things or can't get stuff into distribution because there's other brands
Yeah.
that have fallen by the wayside or whatever, that they're sitting on cases of stuff at distribution. I mean, you see some of these sales, and it's more brands than just
Oh,
than
there's a
St.
lot of
Cloud.
things you see.
There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts,
I
man.
see Marty, but I don't know if I think he just
I,
keeps.
I I think he's having a problem with his
His
headphones.
whiffer. That might be. But like even the barrel, how barrel had the like silver and the gold
Yeah,
stuff.
those are gone.
Dude, around here, like those golds were like $200, $300, $400. Some of them, 99, 99 at places.
Jeez, I mean at that point you're actually getting.
Oh,
some
dude,
value,
it's a
though.
buy all day because all that stuff's like 16, 18-year-old stuff. I want to say the gold, the seagrass was 25. Using the Canadian, doing it in the seagrass style. Like, it was good, but I got to try it, but I wasn't going to pay $400 for it.
Right.
It was really good, The silver of it was good, and that was $225. Some of those have been on sale here for like $60, $70. And like, people just go in and swipe them all right when they do it, and I get it. It's good for that price. It's unbelievable for that price.
Yeah.
16-year seagrass for $70. Okay.
Jeez, dude.
You're paying $70 for the regular seagrass.
If not more.
Mm-hmm. They had all kinds of good stuff.
I'm gonna say that this is probably one of my favorite Colulas ever.
Well, you've been harping on it hard how good it is, so I believe it.
Sadly, it's there wasn't a ton of it left, so I was just like,
memories.
Well, yeah, right.
Hey, you got to finish it up hanging out with your buddies. What more can you do?
Well, I mean, there was a time that I would get a bottle to this point, and I would just be like, okay, well, I'm just buying more bottles. Like I'm push those off to the side.
We've all done that. No, you guys have watched me cash shit out left and right. Bobby's been cashing shit out. Like I would get low on shit, and I'd be like you. Oh, I got to get another one. I got to get another one before I finish this.
Well,
I don't need to. There's so much stuff out there. I have so much stuff. There's no reason to.
Don't get me wrong. If I get someone like one of you guys or someone I know that says, "Hey, I tried this. It's really, really good. I think you should get it."
of course.
Then yeah, like one of the ones I'm excited about because I just went through and tried a bunch of them. MB Roland, man, they make some really good shit for people that.
Yeah, but that's different than having a bottle that you have a quarter bottle left and you're like, I got to go get a backup before I finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go buy something cool that somebody says is good. I will. I'm finishing enough stuff, clearing stuff
Well,
out of
I
here.
mean, you know,
Passing
these
out
were,
bottles of stuff that I've opened that I know I'm never going to touch again, and somebody says, "Oh, I like this. Oh, take it home."
I mean,
I'm not
these
going
were
to drink it
all,
again.
these were all essentially single barrels, right? 273
Yeah.
bottles of this, and sadly, probably should have bought 2 of these, but I didn't because I had too much. Oh, now
Hey, there you're moving around. Now I can see you moving.
Now we got the man. He's got some Black Label Old Forester 100 in hand. That a boy drinking the good old
sorry.
foe.
I don't know. I had to restart and everything else, so I apologize for all the screw ups here.
Oh, no.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
Yeah, I've got
Hey.
I've got new internet here at the new house, and it's probably 3/4 of what the other one was. It sucks. I've even got my damn hotspot out here. I had to join on, so
Hey,
I'm here.
Chris is in his
Awesome, buddy.
hotspot off of his phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm using the hotspot off the phone.
Yeah, so if I fade in and out, I don't know.
No, you're good. I can hear you.
All good.
Congratulations, guys, on the launch and everything, and on the sales early. It's killer, man.
Yeah, thanks. Congratulations on the new crib. Right, moved into a new
Yeah, well,
spot.
God, packing
Are
all
you
that
still
fucking whiskey up.
next to a golf course?
I'm nowhere near a golf course, and we have this whole neighborhood that has golf course names by street.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, but I'm nowhere near an
Did
interstate.
you guys? Yeah, did you guys happen to see that they had that little mini avalanche at Torrey Pines Beach?
Yeah,
No.
I did see that.
Yeah, they had a huge
shit.
release of the cliff, one of the cliffs at Torrey Pines, down at the beach. Yeah, just.
I saw it was sweeping some houses out there.
Well, I mean, erosion, it's kind of getting worse. It's one of those things like we're seeing that down in Galveston Bay, where people had 30, 40 feet out, and now the water's lapping at the base of their pylons and stuff on their beach houses.
Well, yeah, but how many years has Galveston Beach been getting crushed though?
I mean, I think it just happens over time, I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How many years can it get crushed over and over with huge storms and it not happen?
Of course.
So realistically, right? That's like a general thought, right? Because you have to pay attention to that. Like I live next to a little bitty stream. We're talking like when it's not like heavy rains, it literally has maybe 2 inches of water. We have a flash flood. It goes to 12 feet.
Yeah.
And so what we did, me and my neighbors, I've been here 19 years. We was like, okay, what kind of plants can we plant down here that are really, really good at doing that? Well, dude, I'll tell you now, there ain't nothing better next to an erosion area than spearmint.
Yeah, its like roots just go down.
Netting. It is like everywhere. The most natural netting rooted system you'll ever find next to water.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, we went. I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but we went out and we played one of our local disc golf courses, one of our favorite ones that's here in the area, and there's a bunch of holes that play right next to one of the major creeks, and we've had so much big rainfall here lately that there's one of the tee pads that's literally about to start being undercut, just from, and we're talking like this thing filling up to, 30, 35 feet deep. You know what I mean? I mean, like normally when you're like, okay, you're looking over a cliff and it's, 20 feet to the water. When the rains really start coming, dude, all of a sudden that thing it floods the course. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's wild that we're about to lose a couple of tee pads, solid concrete tee pads, and nothing you can do. You gotta just figure it out.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks because it really is. It really is one of the most fun courses to play, and it's hard, dude. It's hard. It's a hard course.
So, Marty, what's the best new thing you've had lately to drink?
I tell you what, man, it's I'm kind of on this kick of screw this unicorn shit, screw this fucking chasing. Pardon me, everybody that's in chat.
Oh no,
Bro, we're in the same boat with you, bud.
we have been talking about this for a while.
Let me give you a great example of what I just ran into. Y'all may have heard me say it in chat and a couple other streams, but last Friday, we're doing a lot of the moving ourselves. We've got all the furniture here. I paid movers for that, but the whiskey and silverware, you know how it is.
Yeah,
The shit you can pack up and move.
Yeah, damn right. I mean, so I still own the lease at the townhouse till the end of this month. So we're taking our time, and I boxed everything up. I stopped at the store here. I now live in a town called Fuquay, Varina, North Carolina. We're about 20 miles southeast. Southeast of Raleigh.
Okay.
It's still Raleigh. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's a store here. I've been into it probably 8 or 10 times since I've lived in Raleigh for the last 2.5 years. I went in there Friday, and they got a damn dump of stuff like I've never seen. They had Weller 12, they had E.H. Taylor single barrel, they had Stag 24A, they had Russell's 15. I don't even know what else. And so I was at the counter and I was like, how much is that E.H. Taylor single barrel? She scanned it. She goes, $75. I was like, fuck.
Fair.
And I was like, how much is the Russell's 15? She said $250. I was like, okay. So I grabbed my wallet, I pull it out, and I look at it, and I was like, you know what? This move cost me $6,000.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, y'all know how it is. I mean, it's just like,
oh yeah.
And I looked at my wallet, and I was like, you know what? I ain't got it. I mean, am I kicking myself that I didn't buy the single barrel for $75? Yeah, a little bit.
But those will come back. But you'll have.
But you know what, Marty, those drops now, with the way Buffalo Trace has grown, and they're finally coming into their own, dude. Like Weller 12 drop here, all the binnies had like 10 cases sitting on the floor.
Well, what the shitty part about that,
it ain't like it used to be.
Yeah, you're right. So like for me, like this freaking 117. You see what's left? I mean, $47.
Right,
dude. That's one of the best new bottles of the year by far.
Best shelf for this. Unless
that's the full proof. That's the full proof.
Yeah,
Green River.
I mean,
right?
You throw this against like maybe a Kentucky Spirit or something might compare, but a shelfer for $50. I mean, I put my wallet back in my pocket and I walked out the door and I said I might come back, and I was like,
yeah,
holy hell, what did I just do? But here's what's funny was I told some of the whiskey buddies, I said, guys, I walked on this stuff, and they're like, man, you should have reached out to me. I'd have bought some of that stuff. And I was like, okay, hold on, time out. Sure. Would I love to take care of everybody? Yes. I could only buy one bottle. But here's the thing. Everybody wants that freaking Russell's 15. If I would have bought that for a buddy and had it in the passenger seat of the car on the way home, I'd be
you would have opened it.
You just kept it.
That, or I'd be like, really? I've got to look at this. Now I've got to box it up and ship it to somebody and I can't have it.
Yeah.
I felt like shit, man. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Don't.
Like,
don't.
Stop,
dude,
listen, we're all in the same thing. I got the call. I got the call when the same drop came. No Russell's 15, but all the BT stuff and everything. Everybody's like, dude, you going? There's no limits. You can buy one of each. I'm like, cool. They're like, you're not going? I'm like, no.
I'm okay, man. I mean, here's the thing too. It's like all my whiskey. I had to make like 8 or 10 trips to the freaking whiskey store to get freaking boxes just to pack my shit up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got, God love my wife. I've got a section here in the living room downstairs. I took 18 boxes upstairs to what's going to be my new whiskey lab or whatever you want to call it. And I still got 3/4 of them sitting down here. And I look at it and I'm like, what is wrong with you, dude? What's your end game? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was
Listen,
like, you know what?
Marty, we're all doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. We've talked about it all year now.
You have now experienced the end of FOMO. You can give a
Yep.
rat's ass.
Yep.
And you know what? You know what? Honestly, it's freedom.
It
You
kind
know
of
what?
is, man.
I'm not tethered to the next drop. You know what? Way to go. Do you know what? Awesome.
Let me
If
tell
I
you,
have
Yeah.
if I have the money and it's there when there were certain things that I jumped on a couple of times this year. And it was just because those things are like once a year type things. And I was like, okay, the price was phenomenal. And I was just like, all right, dude, I'll just do it.
But it's a
You
once
know.
a year. It's not
But
something
it
like
wasn't
those quote unquote unicorns that we were told were unicorns
Mhm.
aren't unicorns that keep on coming out.
man,
You know?
people's fascination with the E.H. Taylor single barrels, and I'm like, dude, just give me the regular fucking small batch. The consistency on the small batch is so much fucking better. And if they're just gonna be pumping out
No.
more, that just means more shitty fucking
Dude,
barrels are gonna go out.
they're pumping out more and more.
I agree.
Like I told everybody when I was just at BT and did that pick for the baseball group with the SAS, that Blanton's line is now running 2 lines Monday through Friday, 3 shifts, 24 hours a day. It used to be 1 line that worked 4 days a week. That should tell you what's going on. Like they're even running Weller 107 picks on that line now.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
okay.
they're
I'm
banging
okay.
shit out left and right, dude. You know,
I mean,
like when I was in Kentucky and we took Iris to the Louisville volleyball camp. We went in a bunch of places, and you know, Bridget was with me. And she's like, "Oh, look at that! You can get that. You can get this. You can get that." You know, there's Blanton's picks. There's all kinds of stuff sitting there at absolute MSRP prices. She's like, "You can get it." I'm like, "Nope." She's like, "Ooh, you were serious when you said you ain't doing this no more."
yeah.
I'm like, unless it's something I really, really want, or everybody's raving about hardcore, that's like I can never get again. Sure,
You know, it's
but
funny
I
because,
passed up so much stuff, man, and I don't even feel bad about it.
well, you know, here's the thing, man. Like new bottles, new lines that are well, not really new lines, but like new finishes or whatever that are coming out with some of these brands. Like I saw yesterday 2XOs doing a French oak finish.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, let's think about that for a second. You're talking about a double oaked French oak, so it's probably a triple finish, $49. That's
yeah,
not stupid.
no.
But
And I'll tell you those 2XOs here, the original ones when they started doing those like
they're here
92
too,
proof
and they're
ones,
still here.
dude. Marty, they're $19.99 here because they're not moving. They're
There's a
$19.99 on the shelf.
there's a
Like I told everybody 4 Roses picks. We had this discussion. I haven't seen you since then. Whenever 4 Roses barrel strength dropped here, no matter what it was, it'd be gone in a
Gone.
day. In a
Oh,
day. Some
sure.
stores because they're known for their picks, an hour. I have 14 stores within an hour that are sitting on cases of 4 Roses picks.
Are
Like
they over
Woodman's would
$100?
last.
Are they over $100, Chris?
They range from $89.99 to $109,
See, yeah. I mean,
and
like
they're everywhere, Marty. They're everywhere. Nobody's buying them. Like Woodman's has had their pick sitting on the floor here. They still have 11 cases of it. It's been sitting here now for 6 weeks.
it's funny. It's funny that you say that because the room that I'm doing my whiskey stuff in has this huge walk-in closet. We have 4 bedrooms here, and it's just me and Jenny. And
Mhm.
the thing about this house is the reason this happened was this house is only $50 a month more than what I was paying for our fucking townhouse.
For a fucking rental.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So I've got 4 bedrooms.
Equity, baby. Equity, baby.
So
and I've got a
JD, I know you
car
can't
garage.
see this. I know you can't see this, but JD on Instagram said the best investment I made from bourbon was buying the BTAC from 2007 and traded it for 50 acres in Poland on a river.
Fuck. That's the best.
Fuck.
One of my best
I
friends.
mean, yes.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, like probably middle of nowhere. Like,
That's exactly where I want to be.
yeah,
Nowhere.
Bro,
nowhere.
bro,
I don't wanna
bro,
see
4
nobody.
acres right up the street. 4 acres right up the street, less than a mile from me right now is 1.5 million
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
with nothing on it.
My
But
question
I'm-
to JD is, when are we going over there fishing?
But what I was hinting at there was like I've got this huge walk-in closet in this spare bedroom where I'm doing my whiskey stuff. And,
Yeah.
like, I've got like 2 boxes of 4 Roses picks. I'm not taking them out of the box and setting them up no more. I left them in the box. I put them in the closet. I've got, and I know I speak for you. I have 34 bottles of freaking Elijah Craig. Going back to 2019 and barrel picks and all that shit, it's going in the closet.
Marty, you've seen mine. You've seen mine. I got like 60 of
welcome
those.
to the other side, Marty. Welcome to the other side.
I'll tell you what's funny, Marty, is someone asked me, we were talking about doing Elijah Craig the one day, and I said, well, let me go see what I got. And I was looking around, and I saw a bottle here and a bottle there. And I went and I looked under the bar. I had a whole one side of the bar that was nothing but. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot these were even down there.
Yeah.
Dude, I opened an A119 that I had sitting out in the garage that I know I have more of downstairs, but I saw it sitting there when we were doing that. And I'm like, I don't want to walk downstairs and find another pick. Yeah. I'm just going to open this.
The only thing I would say is Marty, if you got any more of those little Tennessee tasters of that fucking that Jack Daniel's rye, if you need anybody to get rid of it, dude, I'm your guy. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you this, Zach.
They just released a new one, dude.
Hold on.
A double barreled rye at 107.
Well, I'm going back to Tennessee, not this weekend, but next. Our son and his wife, they're having a baby. We're throwing them a baby shower. And those things, of course, are all over Tennessee. So I'm going to grab a case of them. So if y'all want one, just let me know.
Yeah, well, most definitely, dude. Listen,
that
was honestly, that was some of
my tasters are awesome. And Bridget's a big fan of those. That's a buy for us.
Yeah, I'll
because
grab
we both like them.
I'll grab a case of them. Yeah,
that's listen, man. When you got Daniel and I those back in the day, dude. Those
dude.
Dude, I mean, I'll tell you what, back in the day, Zerk tripped hard for those tasters.
Dudes, dirt. He went nuts on those, man. Hooked us all up.
They were that rye is probably my favorite rye I've ever had.
Zach, are you talking about the one like 2 years ago?
Yes.
Hey, dude, listen.
2 or 3 years ago, the barrel proof ones.
Yeah. I've got a decanter. A whiskey nose decanter that's full of nothing but that.
So good, dude.
Oh, dude. It's like a red, like you can't imagine. Yeah, it's crazy.
But it was
right there, dude. That's the same thing with me, man.
It wasn't overly spicy. It wasn't overly barrel
chocolatey, freaking goodness, dude.
It was this wonderful amalgamation of like right in the like if you were to look at a Venn diagram, it was like everything that was like perfectly in the center. Yeah. Like if you took a center, you took a circle and you put it right in the middle of what it was like a little bit of everything. And those were so good, and they were fucking cheap, honestly.
Yeah, $40.
Well, Zach,
man.
Yeah, Zach. Now the 750 picks are that way, and they're everywhere now. Like they were hard to get early last year.
You want to know
Now,
how? You
I,
want
c-
to
I,
know
c-
how
I
long?
can walk into any store and they're just sitting there now.
I'm gonna go grab a stick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You know the thing that'll let you know how unFOMO I am, right? Like I've been probably hard unFOMO for quite a while. JD was like, I'm still enjoying the Jack Daniels Oloroso Sherry malts. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I didn't even know that existed. Because I haven't been tracking. You know,
They did a heritage bottle of it, but then they brought it out as like a $35 bottle that is it JD, is it 90 or 100 proof? I think it's 90 proof.
he said his prices are still 100.
That might be on the heritage ones though.
He
On
said,
on the other ones, they're out there at like the 30 to 40
I
bucks.
didn't
I
even
think
know JD
they're
did
90 proof.
Oloroso Cherry finish one.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did a malt. It's an all malt, and it's good.
I have been
It's not for everybody, but you Scotch guys, hell yeah, dude!
Dude,
I
I
have
have-
that heritage one.
I mean, I
Love
have
it.
been so cigar forward because I mean,
I have-
between me and my brother, we could not, putting significant effort in, we could not finish the whiskey we have between us in our lifetime.
No, when
He-
you busted
did
out
the
that
math.
list, there's no
He
way.
did the math. He did the math one day, and he said if we both drank 7 ounces,
6
3.5
ounces, 6 ounces.
No, 3.5 times 2 is 3.5.2. So let's say 6 or 7. I thought he said 7, but even if it was 6 ounces, it would take us like I think it was like 40 some years.
Yeah.
Well, unless we're still drinking and he's in his hundreds and I'm in my 90s.
Well. I mean, here's the funny part about that. The funny part about that is for you two to only drink fucking 7 ounces of whiskey when y'all are together. You know what I'm saying? That
was every
that
day.
to me is the funny.
But that was
part, you know?
every day.
Yeah, but Zach, yeah, every day. Can you imagine doing that every day?
I mean, I could do 3. Yeah,
So Marty, were you putting butane
Yeah,
on your lighter?
Yeah, it's about out, man.
So you want to know the proper, easiest way to make sure that happens, the best way it's supposed to.
Purge.
So what you do is you turn your flame down to the lowest setting
all
that it is.
the way down.
You take something into there to the nozzle to gas it out. Push it in there. You'll hear the gas expel. Go. Psh. Then when that stops, fill it. It'll fill up real fast. And then what you have to do is turn it over and light it, and then flip it back, and it'll fill right up.
Well, let me tell you what.
Dude, it'll be filled more than you've ever had it filled ever.
That was something that is in the testing.
Honestly, they say you should actually purge it more than once while you're in the fill process, just to help get that air bubble all the way to the top, because sometimes it'll get trapped at the bottom.
Yeah.
But yes, it is always, you need to, one of the main things you need to do is turn it all the way down, and that's one of the big mistakes everybody does, because when you leave it open, you're essentially allowing
more air in.
Air and at the same time. When you close it off, you're actually reducing the amount of air, and it's just the butane going in.
Yeah.
These Rocky Patel 4 burners.
Yeah.
I've sent 2 back. They're lifetime warranties, and ever since I've gotten the 2 new ones, I've had to drain it out twice with the little plug,
So what I like to do is I like to take a screwdriver with one of the like the Allen wrench, one of the small Allen wrench, like little inserts, you know what I'm saying? And I use that to push onto because it's flat enough, and ideally if you can get one of the safety the star tipped ones with the safety, where it's got the hole cut out for, it has the tab. That actually works the best.
Yeah. Like, dude, I bought this at Binny's. $7 is the Zycar. $7 little mini. It's called a gnome or something like this.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a single burner, but for $7, this kicks all my anywhere from 50 to I have a $200 lighter. Destroys everything. Lasts
Well,
longer than
it's funny you
everything,
say that,
and
Chris,
is great.
because- It's funny you say that because it's been probably maybe 5 or 6 months ago. Bobby and Zach were on, and I brought something up about a lighter. Like, what do you think? And Zach or Bobby said, just get on Amazon, man. Get a 2-burner cheap.
Dude,
Yeah.
I've got one inside, and it don't miss, man. It don't
Vortex,
miss. So,
dude. You buy 2
Yeah.
for freaking like 17, 18 bucks, dude.
Yeah.
And there's no
honestly,
need to
These on Amazon are like $20,
So
but
I'm
Benny's
gonna
has them
tell
for
you,
$7 or $6.49.
if you're gonna spend the money,
Score.
don't spend the money on the lighter. Spend the money on
Find
the
it on the
fuel.
cutter.
Yeah, you
Well,
want
the
to
fuel on the
fuel.
cutter.
well the fuel, but really your cutter.
Yep.
Right?
Well, but
Yeah.
but what's going in, because the fewer impurities means that flame is not going to gum up over time.
Right.
Where you use crappy freaking crappy drugstore
Butane.
freaking fuel, dude. That shit just, it's got all sorts of impurities in there, and they gum up, and that's why one burner starts to act
Yep.
funny.
I got the Lotus and the Calibri is what I buy all the time anymore.
premium. Yeah.
So Zach,
It's $1 more.
Yeah.
JD said you should try to pick up the Bimber Sherry finish. Their killer bottles and the profile is wonderful.
Bimber is weird. Okay, that is an English.
I'll be right
whiskey.
back. I'm gonna grab another steak.
It is a strange. I was gifted by a mutual friend of ours, Marty, Alan, the whiskey friend.
Yeah.
He gave me some samples, and one of them was a Bember, and Bember's weird. It is an odd profile. Like the wine cast tames out some of that. But man, I had it, and it was like
You
having
can get the sherry ones.
Yeah, it was like having like a Glencaddam for the first time, where it's that really malty, that heavy malty sour. It's because I think they use an older style of distillation in the way that they do the fermentation. I think they allow it to go longer, and so it pulls in kind of some of those heavier, soury type flavors.
Hey Marty, have you picked up a Backbone Estate yet?
No,
Dude.
I've only got. The 2 backbones I've got are some of the 2 best bottles in my collection.
I'm telling you what, because you like cigars, I will tell you this for a fact. Go on to Shared Pour. The Backbone Estate for $69 is my number 1 buy of the year for a cigar smoker.
Okay.
Dude,
It's 6-year MGP cognac finished, and Nolan does everything. That estate is so good. It is. I'm literally drinking it right now, and it's the best I've had tonight.
It is the only bourbon this year, and probably through last year, that I have a new bourbon that I have actually raved about.
Okay.
It is so good, and the price point is fantastic.
Yeah.
We got a media sample. He sent us little media samples, and honestly, when I was done with it, I was like, shit, I don't have any more. Like, this sucks.
I went online and bought 2.
Okay.
Because I knew I was going to get one, and then I drank it. I mean, me and my brother, we literally drank it in one night. It was so good with a cigar that I bought another one, and I'm halfway down. I'm going to probably go buy another one. It's the best. It's the best bourbon drinker that I've had in a long time. And it's not like it's overly cognac. It's just this like really subtleness that's in there. And it just elevates your stick. And you're just like, oh, God, that's fucking good. Really good.
And listen, I don't think it's going anywhere. So don't feel like you have to run out and fucking buy it. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to but just know
that's not
that
what we're saying.
It's on Shared Pour, but the price for what it is fair. It's like, and And I can tell you this, like you stepped away to get your cigar. Someone in here, JD was talking about the Sherry Oloroso Jack Daniels. I didn't even know that existed. I have been so, like when you talk about FOMO and the exact opposite, I've been so detached from buying anything whiskey
Well,
for like 2 years.
well, but our focus shift to focus on cigars, like that became our focus.
Well,
You know,
my
we had
thought
to,
is I want to be able, I don't sip without a cigar.
well, but we made the conscious effort to invest in cigars in a way that it expanded our flavor palette. That expansion in our flavor palette enabled us to come up with that blend for the frickin' over the Uncommon Valor. I don't know why I always say Stolen Valor, because I just think of fucking all the shit I see on YouTube. But the Uncommon Valor, and that honestly, without what we did for the last 2 years, we never would have had the wherewithal to come up with the things that we were talking to Ish about. So it was a process. You know what I mean? We knew we had plenty of freaking whiskey. We didn't have to chase anything. You know, something happens. You know, something good happens. Cool.
You know, Marty, you've been around with me, you know, like Zach and Chris, you know, we've all been together for a very long time. And so, you know, one of the things that I've said from day one is like, hey, I just want a better experience. I want to help people have a better experience. You know, and I think, you know, back in the day, we've talked about this on streams before back in YouTube. I said from day one, I was like, I'm not here to get monetized. Listen, I'll make my money elsewhere. But the thing is, I want people to have a better experience. Like, how do you get the better experience? And and I was always in whiskey and cigars, and I like my whiskey, but it was really rare that I wasn't doing a cigar. You know, even back in the day, yeah, when I was on lives, I couldn't smoke down here until I made. So my downstairs bar is now a lounge. I have enough leather seating for 8 people to smoke cigars down here, and the filtration and everything's good. I can smoke at a house if I need to. And quite honestly, it happens a lot, but nothing goes upstairs. But the idea is like, you know, your better whiskey experience happens delayed. And that delay happens to be a really good cigar, and they can both elevate each other.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that, Bobby, because for me, and I think this is kind of breaking it down just a shade more juvenile, is like I'll be inside and it's 7 o'clock and the sun is still out here where I can't come out here because it's beaming down, and I am so craving a stick and putting a bottle with it that it's like, God damn, is it 8 o'clock yet where the sun's set? You know, it's weird how that has transpired from my palate and from my craving.
Well, because I think the thing that's so signature about it, right, is that when I have the time to light a cigar, it also gives me the time to sip and appreciate whiskey. Yeah. I'm not on a timetable. Yeah. I don't have anything other than like I'm disconnected.
Yeah.
And you know, Chris has been here at the house. He knows like I have a great outdoor area I can smoke, and I have a great indoor area I can smoke. You know, I mean, and I had a lot of people here, and they're like, "Listen, we want to go down and smoke in the lounge," you know, because it's nice to sit around in leather chairs and just get up and go grab whatever bottle you see. And there's not a single bottle here. And Chris will tell you, if you go downstairs, I'll just like, well, grab whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah,
dude, that's the same way my area is. Everybody knows that comes here. Like, it ain't open.
We just got to get a filtration system in the dugout.
Yeah, we do.
I'm just from an old whiskey guy. I'm kind of.
You're transitioning.
Well,
You're transitioning. You're transitioning from the phase of I was running out and I was collecting, and that's what the thing that got me. Okay. Now you're transitioning, and
we all did.
I don't, and we all did it. We all did it. It's like a phase. Some of us stayed longer, and some of us found it shorter. Doesn't matter. Now you're in the phase of like, you know what? I don't care about that new bottle. I have enough bottles to enjoy.
I
You know
agree.
what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit down and I'm gonna grab one out of my collection because I got more than I know what to do with.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm just gonna pick one and I'm gonna go with it.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
it's a thing, you know, but whiskey tube, and I speak for Chris, maybe and Bobby
I
too,
know.
but it's more, it's turned into such a in crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
that
just
happened a long time ago.
It did. You're right, Bobby.
It
did.
happened a long time ago because I had people ask me, like, where'd you go? And I said, well, I wanted to make a change. Like, I knew that I wanted to go over and meet the cigar world. Cigar world was
Yep.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
You know,
wasn't
and
on
the nice
YouTube.
thing that was on Instagram, like I have all the YouTubers that bitch and bellyache all day long about Instagram. You know what's nice about Instagram? Anybody that has a phone can literally just pick up
Yep.
and jump on there. And you know, I got to meet a lot of fascinating people from everywhere. And you know, they were,
Dude, all
were-
over the world.
they were inquisitive.
We
They
smoke
asked
with
me
people from all over the world. Dubai,
Oh,
Bahrain,
yeah,
everywhere. And we hang out with them. We know them. We know all about them.
you know, and you got to, but you know, I think the thing that, and this is just me speaking, I could be totally off point, but I don't think I am, Marty. We come to a point, I may have come to it earlier, but it isn't for a reason.
Yes,
You
Joe.
come to a point where you're like, dude, I spend a lot of fucking money on what we would call, listen, this, I don't care what anybody says, this is a rich person's deal,
Yeah.
right? You're doing whiskey and cigars. I want to enjoy. I want to thoroughly enjoy. And somewhat like, so I can remember that one of the biggest things I did on Instagram when I came over, there was a guy, really, really big Instagram guy, literally on the cover of a magazine. He was on the cover of a magazine at the time. And he's like, hey, I've been following you on Instagram. I would like you to come on my live and walk me through a cigar, you know, acclimation process because I don't feel like I'm picking up notes that I think I should. And I was like, okay, cool. We're going to get a Toro cigar and we're going to get a 3.5 ounce pour and it's going to last us 2.5 hours. And he's like, there's no way. There's no way that's going to happen. I said, oh, well, just humor me. And in like 2 hours and 45 minutes, we were still on the same cigar and the same pour.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have a chance to talk, right? Because you have a chance to talk about your experience, maybe even just talk about life. And, you know, the thing that you do, if you have a good whiskey and a good cigar that pair well, they're both better. So there's a bigger finish on your whiskey and that whiskey lingers. So you don't really have to go back to it until your palate tells you, hey, I need a sip. And so then I feel like this Backbone Estate, right? And I'll say this for a purpose, right?
Good.
Yes, I went through, I'm almost ready to finish my second bottle. But dude, I've been sipping consecutively on that for like a month.
A solid 3 weeks. A solid
Just
3
sitting
weeks.
there like,
But
wow, this is
but
so
but
good.
here's the other thing, Bobby. You're nailing it completely. All of us got in the rat race.
Yeah.
And the one thing the rat race did to us, we stopped enjoying shit and we just started consuming shit. And we all did it. We would wake up in the morning and feel like shit. We all did. We all did because we were I gotta have this. Oh, now we're switching to this pour. Now we're switching to this pour. Now we're switching to this pour.
Dude, I used to be on a live stream with a piss jug.
Yeah.
I would literally be able to go.
I remember when you used to do that and fucking piss in your jug. Yeah.
I was literally peeing because I didn't want to leave the. I'll tell you, the thing that broke me, and I think this is why it happened earlier for me, is one of my best friends is my tattooist. He's a Marine Corps brother of mine. And I went down to see him and we were talking. He said, dude, your stream last night was the funniest thing I've ever seen. That was so great. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I wasn't live last night. He said, oh, yes, you were. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're like walking around the house and doing this. I was like, what? So I went back and realized I had a stream. I was so out of it. I had no idea I even did it. The first thing I did was I went in there and I deleted it, and I said that'll never happen again.
Bobby, if I had a job that like I had to be there at this time in the morning, I would have been fired 3 years ago.
Oh, Marty, me, you, Bobby, all of us, dude.
Like,
I'm
thank
just saying.
God for COVID. Thank God for COVID and working from the house, because all I had to do was fucking roll out of bed and fucking go to work in my
roll out of
underwear,
roll out of bed. You just fucking clocked in. You just clicked your shit and said you were on and turned your camera off.
But when you go back to YouTube, when you go back to dive into YouTube and reviews and stuff, I mean, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of irritating to see what distilleries send samples to what channels, and you're like, fuck, dude, I've got 1,000 more subs than this guy. But they're
Hey,
sending,
dude, you know.
So hold on, Zach, before you chime in, let me tell you something that was very shocking. Right, this is, and Zach knows where I'm going to go with this. On YouTube, if you weren't monetized, they would not talk to you.
No,
Zero talk.
right.
On Instagram, every person that wouldn't talk to me on YouTube would jump on my live stream. They would send us media samples. They would talk to us. We could do anything we wanted on Instagram because it was more about hitting a different profile. Even when
you're hitting a worldwide profile.
Well, the weird thing is like I had a lot of people tell me before you could go out and actually purchase your Meta.
Mm-hmm.
I got Meta certified, and what did I have, Zach? Like 500 people.
Yeah, they got to you pretty quick.
And the reason why, and this is my belief, is at the time I was very, very poignant, and I still am on Instagram. That hey, listen, I'm here to give you a better experience. I'm an educator. I'm here to teach. I never said, like, if anybody said anything that I thought was even close to a violation, I'd never publish it. I would only be like, hey, listen, I want to do this. I want people to learn.
Well, and listen. And there were a couple of those streams, Marty. I was the reason it didn't get published. You know, Bobby calls me after we fucking end up, and he's like, dude, hey, listen, man, we're trying to do this thing. I need you to be on board. And at first I was like, oh, dude, come on, man. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, after a while,
we all did that.
You realize,
we all did that.
And it's like you had to slow down a second. You had to go, okay, I need to step out of what. And I'm not gonna say that like Bobby was attacking me, and I'm not gonna say that I felt like necessarily that it was attacking me, but I felt like, hey, dude, it's not that big of a deal. We're just out there having a good time.
Yeah.
Bobby was treating this like a business. I wasn't. And the second that I realized that I wasn't treating this like a business, and that I needed to be more professional, what Bobby said was absolutely fucking 100% true.
Because
and at that point,
I mean, I've talked to Zach. How many people have we talked to over the years where the one thing that's probably the most ultimate rare thing on my Instagram channel, right? I've never, ever been flagged. I've never been shadow banned. I've never been nothing. I've never even had a warning because I'm very to the point that if I'm trying to be someone that's educating and teaching, I don't have room for some. And it was, I'll tell you what, and Zach's right. I was hard on him for something that really was not a big deal. It wasn't a big deal, but it isn't about what I think. It's about what Instagram thought.
Well,
it was changing, and you know what? And it was changing the mindset. And the second that happened, honestly, you guys could probably go back. I mean, honestly, it's probably about like March or April of last year. And if you look at March or April of last year and every stream forward, we were together on what we thought was appropriate, and we did our best to keep things on track. And if things started to kind of
I just wouldn't publish it.
even well, but even if things started to kind of go, like we started to notice that it was kind of moving that way, and it was kind of the post hour mark or something, we would just say, hey, listen, we're going to end this one so we can publish it, and then we'll hop back on, and we can just hang out, and we don't have to publish shit.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know?
Instagram is all about the publish. It's what you publish.
And
You can talk about anything in the world you want to talk about, just don't publish it. If you publish it, then you're gonna get reviewed.
well, but it was nice and refreshing because there were a lot of people that followed us.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good stick.
I
Yeah.
And
love
they
it, man.
and at first they kind of didn't get it, but after a while I think people really understood that we wanted that publishable content to be a first hour and a half.
Well, I can tell you
And
one of
then-
the best Instagram feeds I ever had was with Chris. It was me and Zach and Chris, and he brought on a Major League Baseball guy. It was absolutely amazing. There was nothing in the conversation that was bad. However, there was things in the chat that were not.
Yeah.
So we
And
could
Yeah, there were a few people that said some
I had
off-color
I
shit.
had to scrub one of the best lives I've ever had. I mean, the most people I'd ever had. Everything
because
about
of
it
the
was great.
chat. Because of
And I
the chat,
couldn't,
yeah.
publish it. And I had people like, dude, why didn't you publish that? It was unacceptable. You know, those things being said.
We
Yeah.
made the conscious effort to hold ourselves to a
Yeah,
higher
the chat made some
standard.
locker room comments and
Yeah.
some shit like that, and
Yeah.
it wasn't right.
It
So-
didn't work. It didn't fly. It didn't represent the future, which is now,
Now,
right? Battalion Cigars. Like we set up, we set up what we were doing now. We were already, it was like practice runs for a year. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
year and a half. And like we were practice running this shit. So like now when we have people on, we understand how to have that ebb and flow of that conversation and keep things up. And number one, you know what? We're lucky enough now. I think we've gotten to the point where, the people that are coming to us are, like Bobby said, they're looking for
The experience.
that educational side of things. They're looking for information. It's also fun. Don't get us wrong. We're out there to have a good time. But at the same time, we're doing our best to provide information as best we can, whether that's a pairing that we're doing, or having a guest on, or truthfully just having kind of a round table on it.
well, most of my Instagram growth came from people watching after the live. It wasn't the people watching the live, because we decided that at the hour mark we were going to cut it. We're going to cut it.
yeah,
Publish an hour, and then we'll have an after stream. So different than YouTube and Instagram, you just
Yep.
cut it, and then you go back and have a live stream separate, because you can't do the editing you can on YouTube like you can on Instagram. I mean, technically you could, but it's a lot more work.
Yeah.
I have to go in and archive it and go in
Hey,
and
let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about Bobby. This is some of the best advice I've gotten for my channel. Okay, me and Jenny had been going for probably 6 or 8 months. This is probably 2020, and me and Bobby were on the phone. I was like, "What do you think?" And he goes, "Can I be honest with you?" And I was like, "Well, of course. That's what I want." And he goes, "I think you need to drop the McLeods from your logo.
Yeah.
Call it Whiskey Nose.
Yep.
Drop the McLeods." And I said, "Really?" And I had a hard time with that. And I was like, "That's me and Jenny, And of course, over time, she's faded out. She's working on her doctorate. She doesn't have time to do all this shit.
Yeah.
And looking back, Bobby was 100% correct.
It created the brand.
It set up the
It took-
brand that
it
he
took-
understood
It took
that
the
I
people
didn't.
out of it, and it put the brand.
He
up.
did.
Yes.
It's
He
funny.
was-
I remember that conversation because it was a hard thing to say.
Sure.
It was a
I'm sure
hard
it
thing to
was.
say.
It was. And,
Because I can remember being mildly emotional.
I remember.
was like-
I remember the old.
I
was like,
remember sitting in the parking lot at work in Tennessee
Yeah.
when you told me that, and I was like, damn, really? And I had a hard time with it, and I took it to heart, and I was like, so I redid the logo and everything. When I looked at the logo, I was like, you know what? I think Bobby's right.
It's better.
What it does from an aspect cross, when you look at from the business side or just the general side, right?
Yeah.
I've taken the personal side of it out. It takes away from self glorification, right?
Yeah.
And that's what someone wants. They don't want self glorification, right? So people look in there, and it wasn't like that's what your intention was, but it could put the persona out there that you're trying to.
Well, Bobby told me, he goes, Marty, the best way to explain it is this: if they watch you now, they already know.
Yeah.
They don't need the name; they just need the channel. And I was like, good point.
Absolutely.
That was good advice, hands down. I've not looked back.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that because I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I remember how hard it was to say that because I know I'm confident enough to say it, but at the same time, I was like, man, I understand it. I understand the hard side of that. But the thing is that I know that there is a separation between personal and professional, and there has to be. So in that would be like, I need to have that removed. Like I don't need someone to have that. It's just, and I thought that was like one of the things. I was like, man, if you get rid of that, I think things could change.
And it did. Hands down.
So Zach,
do I still hate YouTube? Yeah.
Zach said, JD said, Zach, my new favorite scotch is, I'm going to butcher this, Glen Talkers.
Glen Talkers
is
phenomenal.
Glen Talkers finished his sherry as a hidden gem.
It's a Speyside, but it's also one of the older it's one of the older distilleries. You got to find it. You got to find it in an indie bottler because a lot of it goes into blends, and and you can find it in a peated form and an unpeated form. But it's, dude.
So
Glen Talkers has so much character. That's one of my favorite things. It's like that is one of those hidden gems where people just don't know, but it's also it's one of those things where people walk up to kind of the indie aisle, of the Scotch section, and then they start looking through it, and they're like, I have no clue what any of this is. And you know what? That's the best stuff. Because if you don't know what it is, most likely it's stuff that's going into blends, and the only way you're going to see a single malt out of it is through an indie bottler. I've got some Glen Talkers, and I've had some Glen Talkers that are just utter gems, man. Now I know he's harping on the sherry finish. Obviously, everything he said, he really likes the sherry finish stuff. I'm an ex-bourbon guy. That stuff in ex-bourbon is Glen Talker's ex-bourbon is just, to me, is one of the just best thing. It gives me all the feels about Scotch, right? Doesn't cover up the distillate, To me, sherry sometimes will cover up distillate. Doesn't mean I don't like sherry whiskeys. Just means that a lot of times I prefer the distillate without it. But
so JD said he wants to send samples. He wants to send like blind samples.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
to see what's it say. It says I want to let me go back up to it.
So he wants to see it. So he wants to send blind samples to.
He said, "Hey, I want to send blind samples to try for your reaction." He said, "Scotch or bourbon," and then he said, "Is peated stuff okay?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
All of it's okay.
I didn't announce earlier when I went to Scotch. I went to Bizarbecue. I was Ardbeg Bizarbecue.
Oh,
You
dude,
know,
You love that
probably
shit.
the best valued special release from Ardbeg that they've done. It was one of the most unique. It was a great price point. It was like $89. It hit all the marks, man.
I know a place in Indiana that has those.
dude, I'll tell you
It's
what.
good.
I had 2 of them, and I have none left now. I just finished
It's
the last
good.
one.
It's
I've
good.
got one. It's got about that much left.
Dude,
Yeah, I
I
don't
love
have any
Bizarbecue.
left.
It gives me such a big barbecue brain. And this is the crazy part of it, right? That heavily peated stuff. I have it in order for me to have to give notes on the peat part. I have to go back and really think about it because I'm so past the things that are off-putting. Someone will say that's way peat.
Right.
I know it is, but it doesn't stand out to me as much as everything that underlies it.
But to me though, it's a part of the flavor, so I incorporate it rather than breaking it apart and going, oh, it's this really smoky thing, and then there's the malt. When you get something like that, to me, it's this homogenous thing that I just look at as long as it's well put together, and I think Barbecue was.
Oh, it was good, really good.
It really hit. That smoke was different from the regular style that Ardbeg was typically putting out.
Well, I mean, they actually used barbecue stuff.
Well, they used a specific specific barrel that they deemed the barbecue barrel.
Yeah.
And they did some special process to it and deemed it the barbecue barrel. And they finished it in that. But at the same time, they used a really heavily peated malt. And what came out of that was barbecue. It was a little spicy. It was a little sweet, a little smoky. It's kind of everything you think when you think about, American barbecue. And, you don't have to go and talk about a specific style. You take the generalizations of American barbecue and you go, it's a little sweet, it's a little spicy, it's, a little smoky. You got that meaty flavor. Barbecue kind of captured all of that in a whiskey.
So, Marty, let me ask you a question. When you draw your cigar, right? So this is going to be something that either you know or you don't know.
Probably not.
And this can change your flavor profile.
I'll be right back.
Significantly on your cigar. When you draw your cigar, right? Like, I just saw you draw it. When you draw, do you notice like a throat pull?
Sure.
Let me embrace something, right? And let me finish before you do it. Like, notice what you did, right? So now just take a breath. So I would tell you to breathe out your mouth and then breathe in and breathe out your nose. Let's clear your palate a little bit, right? So
take a sip. Take a sip before you do it. Take a little sip.
Take a sip of whiskey. I'm going to, if you've never done
whiskey, water, whatever you choose.
If you've never done this, this will matter. So the best way to get the best profile is siphoning. Siphoning is nothing more than putting the cigar to your mouth, using your lips as a seal, right? But breathing through your nose, not your mouth. So what I want you to do, right, and don't do it until I show you. So like I have a pretty clear screen. You should be able to see this.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do
Hold on. We'll solo your ass.
We'll throw me out. Because this is really good. And if for anybody watching later, or anybody happens to be on here, there's not really many people on here. There's a thing called a soft draw. right? Some people have probably done this. People have heard this. Some people have never heard this. Soft draw is really just a term I made up because I was trying to figure out like how do I explain this. It's how to address your palate with a cigar without it being directionally pulled from your throat. Because one, you don't want your throat muscles to get sore if you're having multiple cigars, and also I want it to be indirectional, right? So I don't want it to
Right.
go to a spot. So what you're going to do is like you're going to put it to your seal, and I'll do it first. Put it in there. Take like a quick puff, exhale it, and then, but everything is done through your nose. So it looks like this. I did not draw from my throat at all. I drew through my nose. And
You'll
what
never have a sore throat again.
you never have a
And
sore
your
throat.
retro is way better.
Your retro
Your
is
retro is
amazingly different.
way better.
And your mouth never gets overly heated, overly smoky, and doesn't taste like an ashtray. So you can put it back in four, Chris. Actually, just put us back in fours. And but I'll tell you, putting that there, just all you're gonna do, Marty, is like put it to your mouth, seal your lips, but breathe through your nose. And then exhale. You will still get
Just use your nose.
just your nose, not your mouth.
Very slowly. Very softly.
Very slow. It's just a soft draw. What you'll find is it rolls back in instead of directionally rolls in. And it's very soft. It becomes very soft. And it leads you to being able to have like a better essence of the cigar.
Yeah, it's pulling a whole lot of pepper.
Well, it can do a whole lot of things, right? So I did this with Chris, and we were doing this in Chicago at the Cigar and Pipe.
Say that word again.
Chicago.
Chicago?
Chicago.
You said Chicago. I love it.
Chicago.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
we went there and we did that, and then we know like what the one thing that we noticed as I was doing this, there were people in the trailer that were listening quietly to the side. A bit of beast.
So,
Nice.
So this is a bit
Is that
of a
like
beast.
way bigger wee beastie?
This is Glen Turret. This is Glen Turret, and this is Glen Turret. If I'm not mistaken, it's a recharred hogshead, 10-year-old recharred hogshead. Right at 61, 10-year-old, lovely little amber.
Hey Zach, have you ever had Spayburn 16?
Yes.
Okay.
I've had that.
Lovely stuff.
I haven't. So
I'm not a big Scotch guy. I've had that. Woo!
But Chris, we were at that trailer and people started paying attention. And then we had a little group start coming around. Even the guys
at the
trailer came back and was like, "What's going on here?" And I was like, "Well, we're talking about how to not have an ashy mouth, not have an overly heated tongue, how to not have throat fatigue, and it's how do you have a better draw that gives you a better retro." And
dude, it was huge. It was huge, and there were other cigar brands in there doing the same thing. It was the first time for them. I was doing tastings of things they had never had. Non-rye drinkers drinking rye, but doing it this way with it and going, whoa.
Yeah. Well, they ended
I
up
like rye now. And they ordered it. They ordered it right online, right there.
They ordered the whiskey right there. I don't know what you did, Zach, but whatever it is, JD said you gave him a chubby. Nice.
Well,
I'll be with that bottle.
SMWS Glen Turret, dude. In a recharred hogshead. I'll put it back up there. A bit of a beast. Man, dude. Here, you want me?
It looked like it had some char floater in it.
Here's
when you held it up.
Yeah.
Honey, peaches, tinned pineapple sweetness, savory stuff. In parentheses, hickory smoked ribs pigs in a blanket, spices, wood char, ash, and smoke. So that is
So we just smoked a whole hog.
yeah, dude. This is
Okay, I'm listening.
Is there a briny
we-
note in there?
oh it's
There has to
light.
be some kind of briny note to be a
It's
pigs in a
light.
blanket.
It's light.
We
Light?
lost Marty.
It's more of think about when you're having pigs in a blanket and you get that little bit of sweetness from like the croissant, you know? Like you get that on the nose. It's like the croissant on the nose.
So that buttery pastry.
Oh, dude, that's the honey. That's that honeyed. The honey and the peaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
I can get down with that. That's a note I like when I find that.
All the notes sound good to me.
Oh, this is an even. I'm sorry, this is an even 60. An even 60. So it's you know, I figured it was an SMWS night. You know, I hadn't done it like straight SMWS night in a little bit, so I finished one and grabbed another and was like, all right. This is why these were so good though. These were like every time these would come available, I was like, okay, if it was the right cask, I was like, I'll buy one. You know?
Yeah. There were a lot of people that got on board with that, and I have not heard anybody complain about those.
Char scotch.
That
Other than you guys spend a lot of money.
it is a lot of freaking money, dude. Listen, SMWS is not a cheap venture.
No.
You know, I haven't bought as many bottles as I had. I just don't think that they're, you know, with price increases and that sort of stuff, they weren't presenting bottles that offered.
They were
same
for a
kind
hot
of
minute.
value. Well, but the prices were a lot better. Like I could get an average 10-year-old for, you know, $100, you know, $90 to $110. That 90
Right.
to 110 went to 130, 140,
Mm.
120 to 140. You know what I mean? Now here's also the thing is because we're, you know, where we're buying it out of, Illinois, the taxes fucking suck.
Yeah, 10 and a quarter, 11.
So taxes pretty much equaled what I was paying for shipping. Shipping was, you know, on 3 bottles it'd be $45 for tax, and it'd be $42 for freaking shipping, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So it got expensive really quickly, you know. 3 bottles was, you know, you're looking at spending $5.
Yeah. The hard part, dude, Illinois, depending on where it's coming out of, their state, some of the cities have taxes, but here's the other part. Some have alcohol tax too.
Well, here's also
and then
the
Rockford
thing.
for me.
The thing is they technically weren't supposed to ship to Texas.
Okay.
So they were doing a workaround to be able to ship it to Texas. So when I was in early this year when I went to the SMWS dinner with Charles McLean, I got to talk with Tom, and he's like, "Yeah, listen, man, I get it. You know, it's expensive, but here's all the things that it takes for us to do that." And those were things like I hadn't ever been told. Like if some of those things. Listen, I in fact I made it a point the next time I went on stream and I was drinking SMWS, I was like, anybody that complains about shipping, you should not be complaining about shipping because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're going through to be able to get you those bottles. And I said, you know what? I will never complain about their shipping prices ever again, because the amount of work that it was taking for them to get that bottle to me.
Oh yeah.
That shipping price.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the same thing that, you know, that we've discovered with, you know, like what I have to do with cigars, right? The cigar, you know, when you look at cigar tax, tax on cigars
Oh.
is like astronomical. You know,
It's
and all
insane.
the stuff that goes into it, and all the like. Someone might say like,
It's
"Wow."
taxed.
So like, the one thing that you'll notice if you go in there, and someone might say, "Well, like, so, to be fully transparent, right? The first cigar that rolled out, the Uncommon Valor, is a premium stick, right? That's our premium stick, right? So someone's like, well, $70 for a 5-pack seems really steep. So what they don't look at is, you have your import tax. You have to import it because it's coming in from out of state or out of the country. Then you have your other taxes, and then you have everything that goes into it, and then when you look at it, the one thing you don't notice when you do it, you buy it for $70 and it tells you that after that you have a shipping. So we just put a flat rate. The flat rate covers no matter where we have to send, and half of that and half of the other part of it goes into the taxes. There's a lot of taxes. God, you think people hate alcohol in the United States? Tobacco is ruthless. Plus,
Insane.
in order to even have processing, credit card processing is the most insane thing that you'll ever run into. You look at it and you're just like, "Well, say what?" You're like, "What?" So you have percentage of every credit card process plus a fee plus another fee, and you're like sitting there and like, trust me, when you sit there and say like, "Oh, they're getting this cigar," no, we're not. No, we're not. I look at people that are like, "Hey, you know what? I'll do a 5-pack for X." I'm like,
Well, a lot of those
barely
folks also
surviving.
we're not doing it in the appropriate way either. So
I can tell you that every cigar that we drop will not be the same price, right? So we understand a premium stick. We understand, other sticks. There'll be different prices based on what's coming out. They will all be really, really, really good. Like the next cigar coming out is, I would argue that, like in my world, the Uncommon Valor is the best cigar I've had in the last year and a half, easily, hands down. Our next cigar, there's people, I'll say Zach, probably likes it better because
I would say
he likes it
better.
differently. He likes it different, not better, different.
I enjoyed that cigar very much, and I also thought that was it was gonna be a crowd pleaser, based upon the size, based upon the blend. It was gonna hit a lot of palates. It was also a shorter smoke, which a lot of newer smokers are gonna be a little bit more comfortable with. That's not to say that newer smokers can't smoke the Uncommon Valor, because they absolutely can. It's one of its greatest attributes that it has enough flavor and not punchy flavor. It comes on very, very smooth, and this other one though is going to be a little softer profile. Robusto. Man, it's just phenomenal. Like and listen, there wasn't a whiskey that we put on that cigar that it didn't go with. That was one of its greatest attributes of the one that's coming. Is, man, we smoked it with everything, and it was just good. But like Bobby said, we put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
That was the Uncommon Valor. That is the flagship cigar of our brand. It is representative of everything that we were trying to do. It is, to me that cigar is integrity wrapped inside of a freaking tobacco leaf.
Well, when you look at it, right, it's approachable by everybody. A very experienced cigar person will notice all of the flavor changes. A new
Right.
person will not be off put by it. They're going to be like, wow, this is really tasty. This is really good. They don't know why, but they know that it's really good. It's really pleasing. It doesn't
Right.
taste like an ashtray. You're not over salivating. You're not over this. You're not overly dry. You know, all the things that you would be off put by. But if you look at your top level premium cigar brands that you're going to pay $50 a cigar for are going to be very similar.
Well, and you're talking a little over what shipping and all $16 a stick
It's
for the
14.
Valor. I mean, come
Well,
on.
Listen,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
listen,
when you
at
figure out a
16
UPS
bucks,
label,
it is
a
a
box, a bag,
Exactly.
a humidity pack,
Yeah.
you know, the sticker on the bag, the sheet that we print out that gives all the tasting notes, the pairing notes. I mean,
Yeah.
all those little costs add up, man.
yeah.
It's-
Well, you know,
listen,
I related a little bit back to what I do pick wise with whiskey. And let me explain that a little bit. Is I'm a member of too many fucking whiskey clubs. And when these picks drop, you can go to the store and get their shelfer for $60.
Yep.
They're doing a pick of that same bottle. Shipping and all is another $25 to $30.
Hell yeah.
You can't tell me that's going to blow your fucking Nike shoes and socks off your feet for another $30. I have passed
Right.
multiple times on these things, these Ben Holidays, these Jack
Well,
Daniel
yeah.
Bulletproof
And
fries.
Marty, you're hitting it. Bourbon Outfitters, $20 for shipping, plus you got to pay the shipping insurance now, which depending on where you live is anywhere from
They
$5
won't
to
even ship here.
$10.
I can't even get Bourbon Outfitter here. So
But I mean, you got to
Yeah.
pay that shipping insurance too.
Yeah.
You're talking $30 extra just for shipping. We're charging 10.
nope, I don't do it.
You know. I mean, we tried to keep it all concise and all tied together at a flat rate. You know, you want a couple of shirts and your pack of cigars, $10. You know, I think that's fair. I think a
Agree.
$9.99 shipping is fair. You know,
100%
and
agree.
and like we're breaking about even on all of them. Some we lose on depending on where it's shipping to, but I tried to keep all the shipping with the boxes, the weights, and everything else to where we're going to break even on that 99. We're not making a single penny on that.
No.
Like most of them, we're even 10, 15%. We're going to
Yeah.
lose $1, you know?
Well, I just, like I said, man, with this bourbon shit, and I know you've talked about it, Chris, and Bobby and Zach too. It's just like, I've taken 2 steps back and throw my hands up and be like, I'm out, man. I'm good. I'm good. You know,
Well,
let me buy a good bottle of scotch or something. I'm good.
I mean, you
No.
know, it's one of those things where, you know what, Marty, it's okay to pull back when you've been spread too thin.
You damn right.
And you know what, it is not selfish to say that, you know what, I need more time for me.
Yeah.
And hey,
Yeah.
you know what, I do my best. I do my best to try to limit what I'm online. You know, like, you know, I may go on a Friday night or something and just hang out with friends and do that kind of a thing. You know, but pretty much Wednesday night, that's my night. Like, that's my only night that I'm really online. You know.
Yeah. Well, dude,
You know,
I look at it this way.
Any other?
I look at it this way. If we went to a cigar lounge,
yeah.
what do? You sit back, or you relax, you talk to a few people there. Yeah, you drink what you drink, but you're there to relax.
Exactly.
You're not there to
Exactly.
like try to keep up with the Joneses. You're not
Yeah,
trying to
leave in
keep
the
up with the
car.
Joneses all night. You know what I mean?
Leave
And
in
we
the
all
car.
got we all got in that funk. We all got in that funk where we were trying to keep up with the Joneses with every pour,
Yeah.
get every bottle, so we could sip along with everybody and talk about the same things. Dude, we're all drinking different shit. We're all drinking different cigars, but we're talking about how to make the experience better. We're having
Yep.
great conversation, Marty's new house, things we're all doing. That's what it's about. That's where we all came from before this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now we're back to where we used to be, where we were all happy and content before.
Yep.
Zach, do you see that message?
And
That's for JD.
I'm trying to get back to there.
Yeah.
JD had a small. He was talking about Scapa non-core products. I mean, honestly, I don't know. When do you see a Scapa non-core product? Because Scapa likes to put its freaking name out there on everything because they want everybody to know that it's Scapa. Because if it's not Scapa, it's Highland Park, right? Even if it says unnamed Orkney,
I'm not a Scotch guy, and I know that.
They know it's Highland Park. So Highland Park's the only one when they sell a barrel, they're like, please don't put our name on it. Only Highland Park does that. Scapa's like, yeah, please. We want people to know that we have good whiskey. They kind of get overshadowed by Highland Park. It's not that they make bad whiskey. It's just they don't make whiskey to the quality of Highland Park, and that's why they get overshadowed. But there is good Scapa out there. And probably their non-core products is probably the better of their lines compared to the core lines. So
yeah.
Listen, if you like it, drink it. If you don't buy it again. And it's
there you go.
It's
there you go.
one
You
of
nailed
those things
it.
where man, you don't have to buy 3 bottles of every fucking thing. You know what I mean? And
Right,
2020 is over, kids. 2020 is over.
There for the longest time, every single limited release that Compass Box did, I bought 2 bottles of. You know what I mean? And you know what I find myself drinking? The $50 Compass Box Orchard House. I drink that over and over and over again. You know what I mean? I buy 3 bottles of that for 1 limited release. And honestly, the limited releases have gone up to $200, $250, and I'm like, I'm out at those prices.
Yeah.
When you guys had it at $150,
And think about that. You're drinking the $50 bottle and replacing it over the $200 bottles you have at your house.
Exactly.
That you could drink and not spend another $1.
And I mean, I love that freaking Compass Box Orchard House enough that when I finish a bottle, like I finished a bottle last night, I'll probably go buy another bottle this weekend. Because that's a bottle that deserves to be on my shelf always. Because the quality is so
But you hit the
consistent.
nail on the head. Zach, you hit the nail on the head of where we're all at in this shit. How many bottles did we go out and buy that we hadn't tasted, we didn't know about, that were way too much money?
I'm the guy.
But we already knew we had a bunch of bottles we loved.
Of course. I'm just saying, when the price increases started to happen at the end of 22, and you started to see that gradual rise, I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm still like, I was fortunate enough, I guess, early in my Scotch, journey, that I found Roy, and Roy always talked about value. We always talked about, listen, you don't have to go buy every single expensive bottle. There are other bottles out there that will offer value and give you a similar profile. You just have to look for it. And you know what? I've taken that to heart. That's where I talk up all of the indie bottlers. I'm like, that's where the values are. The values are in those indie bottles.
That's where bourbon and rye is at the same point.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than enough bourbon to the point that brokers can't get rid of it. In individual warehouses that were buying it up, that were contract distilling, can't get rid of it. All that shit's going to be amazing one day. One day, just like it was in 2015 when we were like, oh wow, we're getting all this ultra age stuff that's amazing. You know, I mean, I can tell you that MGP barrels that are 10, 12 years old are back to the same prices they were in 2015, 2016. Okay. That's where the markets went. And
But here's the
3 years
converse.
ago, that barrel was worth 5 times more.
I know. But here's the converse side. Do you think that the consumer price is actually going to drop and follow suit?
Well, but here's the side of that, Zach. Is
Zach,
you've
it
got
already is.
correct.
Look at how many 11 or 12-year-old bourbons from MGP and Rise are coming out from
Or
independent bottlers, like
Barton.
you're saying,
or
or
Barton.
Barton,
Yeah.
that are at that $90 to $100 range right now.
Yep.
They're happening left and right now. They're all there. It's happening.
Like I got an email today from Kilhoman, right? You had an opportunity if you're a member of the Kilhoman. Am I saying that right?
The Kilhoman
Society. You could buy a barrel for 5,000 euros.
It's actually not a bad price.
No, it's not a bad price.
Not when you think about the number of
not only are you buying the barrel, that is the price, barrel, bottled, boxed, and shipped.
Holy hell!
I mean, come on, Kentucky, a Kentucky 4-year-old 3 years ago was selling for almost $5,000, and now you can go buy a 7-year-old for about $2,500.
Yeah.
You can buy if you're buying a lot, say 100 barrels of MGP, rye or bourbon that are 10 years old at about 15 to 1,800 a barrel right now. Those were going for $8,000, $9,000 $2 years ago. It's there. I've seen the lot prices. I've seen the lot prices come across the board.
Well,
it's man.
Honestly, that's to me that's good for the consumer. I think that's good for our industry. There's a little bit of contraction that's going to happen, and there's going to be a little bit of oversupply. And honestly, you may see some.
Zach, oversupply. Look at all these brands that have upped all their shit and invested billions of dollars between Buffalo Trace, between Heaven Hill, Bardstown,
they're not going anywhere because
Whiskey House.
They have the ability to sit on barrels.
Well, I know, but all these places that put a ton of money into shit, but like Marty's right, Bardstown and Green River, have played the market right. They brought out their stuff at 6 and 7 years old, and they're putting it out at $50, dude.
Yep.
And we love it. Tell me you don't love that Green River Full Proof or those picks at $50. Hell yeah, love them. They've been great. Even at $70 for a pick, that I'm getting 130 proofer, 135 proofer instead of a 115, 1 Hell yeah, they're amazing.
We're not seeing those in Ohio, but I've had them.
They're out there and they're fucking great, and you know that, Bobby.
I've had them from back when I was with Bardstown.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris, from an industry perspective, like we know that there are barrels out there. We know that there are barrels that are sitting. We know that there are bottles from brands that we're trying to get to market, and they're just sitting at distributors, and they won't push them out.
They're not even sitting at distributors. A lot of them are sitting at the actual distilleries, warehouses right now.
They wouldn't even take the bottles.
That they can't even get to distributors because there's so much shit anymore sitting at distribution between rum, vodkas, gins, all the other stuff. Because we went through a period, you got to understand, if you look at the market research, which I get to see from the top investment banks. Right now, seltzers are selling. Beer is down.
Yep.
You
But
know,
seltzers are up.
beer is down 20%. Seltzers are up, but even they're hitting issues because everybody's trying to do a seltzer. California red wine, who has been the most solid, consistent forever, is down 40% for the first time ever. 40% because the new drinkers
And
aren't drinking it. And this millennial crowd we talk about stuff, they don't drink. They don't drink.
Or they only drink
It's-
frustrados.
Right.
Fruscata.
They right, but they're doing edibles, they're doing all the other stuff that's available,
Yep.
which is a new market, and their money's going there.
That's a true statement, right?
So
Right.
all of a
They've
sudden, when
got-
their money's going there,
they've got legal alternatives.
right, they're not buying a $50 bottle, you know, they're going buying this stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
and it's
buying
dude, it's happening so hard across the
that's
board.
a
And I mean,
that's
we
an-
see all these
you know
places
what?
that were investment banking because when Kentucky turned barrels into commodity, okay, you had all your companies and investment people buying barrels, so they buy a lot of barrels. So let's say you buy your 100 barrels.
Yep.
You would then in turn take that barrel because it was a commodity right now at a set price, and you would take a loan out against those barrels to buy more barrels and accumulate this huge stock because the whiskey market was going crazy.
Yep.
Well, look what happened. All of a sudden, here we are 4 years later. Shit bottomed out because there's so much shit available because all this contract distilling happened, everything else. These places need to make their money back because they have to pay their freaking monthly payments on their loans and they can't afford to.
Hey, Chris.
So they're dropping
Chris,
barrels
is
like
that-
no tomorrow.
Is that what Bardstown just kind of went through when they dumped that rick house? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Well, it's not even Bardstown. Look at Barrel. Look at Barrel that
So-
bought the huge
That's what I
distillery
mean.
and stuff
Barrel,
and did
not
that.
Bardstown.
Barrel.
Let me
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Barrel.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the same
Because
scenario.
because they took all that money out to grow against their actual barrels because they were commodities, but now they have to pay their monthly line of credit.
And they're
So
Tax-
you have to. So if you're not able to sell to distributors because your shit's sitting on the shelves, now you got to sell barrels left and right at whatever you can sell them for to keep on paying your monthly line of
tax
credit.
and everything. Yeah.
well
What's up, Tommy?
okay.
Cheers, guys. What's going on?
Buddy?
What's up, TD?
I love hearing
What's up,
Chris
big
say
dog?
distributors when he's drunk.
So
Distributors.
let me ask you this.
Tommy
Is this-
distributors. Sorry.
So let me
and
let me
and
ask you
and,
this
and I'm going to
from
give
a-
you one of these. I don't have these in, so yeah, it sounds stupid. Sorry. I can't
So-
do that
so-
when I smoke, man.
Let me ask you this from a barrel perspective, not a
Okay.
from a or let me rephrase that, from a cooperage perspective. You know, because we know that cooperages are having a tough time getting white oak, right?
No, they're not.
White oak,
No, they're not.
white oak.
Not
right
now.
is-
Not now.
Are you think so?
You can call you can call any cooperage right now and say I need 5,000 barrels. They'll tell you, okay, tomorrow.
Okay. That's fine that they already got them built. Okay, we're looking towards the future, right? And a lot of what we're seeing is we're seeing sawmills and stuff like that starting to go out of business. Like there's one up in
Okay.
Montana.
Okay,
That-
I'll
that-
tell you this. You're correct, but in the bourbon business, a lot of places have their own mills and have everything else. They were doing everything based on futures and projecting this They have it all sitting there.
They already have wood seasoning basically,
They do.
but
It's sitting there.
but honestly, if we take that viewpoint, it's a finite resource, right? It's only there's only so long
Sure.
that
Is
that
it younger
stops.
younger trees?
It's absolutely younger trees. So here's my viewpoint
yes
on
and no.
that. Is this a chance for the industry to take a little bit of a step back? And I'm hoping that this, imparts some legislative changes, that we get back to allowing those trees to grow back to, 70, 80 years rather than 30 or 40 years before we're chopping them down. You know what
It's
I
not.
mean?
It's,
And
I think Zach. I think what we want.
Zach, we're at a glut. We're at a glut all the way across.
What we want
So-
to happen.
And I'll tell
is-
you this from the Cooperages, Marty, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. But right now, all these Cooperages had future contracts, okay, that they were locked into for distilleries, contract distilling, all this other stuff that have now fallen off the board. They have such a backlog of things that they've already purchased and wood that's sitting, that they have nothing to do with it. They're hoping somebody calls and goes, dude, can I get 5,000 barrels? You couldn't call Kelvin Cooperage and go, hey, I'm new. I want 100 barrels. You call now and go, I want 100. They're like, you want 100? Do you want 500? You want 1,000? You want 5,000? We'll bring it over next week.
We'll give you a deal. Yeah.
Like not even
honestly,
a week, a month, next week.
But honestly, because of the seasoning process and everything that's happening, they're not having to chop down any more trees right now. That's what I'm hearing. So
no, none.
So here's the deal: is are we as an industry able to utilize this glut and allow the forest to grow back to a place where we can make it sustainable in the future? And I'm not sure.
Because we only need shit for the main distilleries right now. Like I'm gonna tell you, dude. Whiskey House puts out some great marketing right now. You've all seen it. Whiskey House.
Okay.
That was a new one that came online.
Okay.
Just this year. It was supposed to start in March, but it started in June. That had contracts to do over 100,000 barrels a year of contract distilling.
Okay.
That's the former owners of Bardstown, blah, blah, blah. They're operating, and they put out a great marketing story like, look at us, we're doing all this. The only reason they're doing it is because they're trying to keep the distillery open and the employees employed. They're running at about 15 to 20% capacity.
Wow.
They had contracts for over 120,000 barrels a year. When they finally got to open, they had 0 contracts this year. But they have to distill barrels because they have financial investments from places, from these bigger banks and investors, that they have to put barrels up so they can say it's a commodity. So the bank says, okay, there's a commodity there. So we don't need to rip our investment back that we know can't be paid.
Well,
there's barrels aging.
Yeah, but
they
at
have to.
But at the same time, if that commodity is not worth what it was once worth, and it sits below what it's going to cost
you know that, and I know that, but they also have to put up enough that per se it's worth enough to carry their monthly payments.
I mean, you say that, but I mean,
when you're because now instead of being a commodity, because you're
that was the
not
worst
even a
thing they
commodity,
ever did.
but you're
That was
running
the
it out
worst thing
monthly.
they ever
Yes,
did. That was the worst thing they ever
right,
did.
right. But you can look at it as we're going to run on a monthly payment. Monthly,
Yeah,
they're going to be able to pay us back this. Well, now they've got to put barrels away because now we can see the growth in it, but it's still going to be to this level where we can fudge our numbers a little bit. And you know this from accounting. That we got to say we own well I'm saying well right now Zach, the bank owns those barrels.
Well, that's the thing.
Not the contract distiller. The bank now
Exactly.
owes those barrels.
But
So the bank owns the whiskey, not the actual distillery.
But the bank doesn't want to own barrels. That's my point. Like the bank doesn't want to own barrels.
Do they want to have a $250 million loss right now because they know they can't make a single dollar?
Hey,
or do they want to have something on paper? Do they want to have something on paper that has value?
Hey, listen. I'm gonna take you back to 2005, and we're gonna talk about mortgage-backed fucking securities. Okay, it's the same bubble.
But this is what I've talked about, and you've heard me talking about it. We're in the same fucking thing, but now we're gonna have a whiskey fucking bubble that's gonna fucking break these fucking huge ass banks, and it's gonna happen.
All right, guys, I'm going to bed.
Man.
Y'all have a good one.
Cheers, Tommy.
Appreciate it.
Tommy.
Good seeing y'all. Good luck with the cigar thingy.
Thanks, buddy.
We appreciate it, man.
Hey, Homestick, when are you coming here?
I'll be in Wisconsin on the 7th of next month.
Okay.
Not sure the schedule after that. I think the high school thing is on the 21st, 22nd.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So just
I may come down before that, go golfing. I don't know. So
okay, just keep me in the loop.
Yeah, I'll send you a text.
Cheers, Tommy.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers,
buddy.
Later, buddy. But that's where we're at, dude.
Oh man, I just if
because you work in accounting on a large corporate level, listen, know what has to happen and how you can twist numbers.
I get it, but the twisting of those numbers was done by finance and not by accounting.
I know.
So
and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you the bank name, but there's one bank that has financed the whole whiskey boom.
Really?
Whether it's true or not, it could be the truest thing you ever heard. You got me?
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah. That's where we're at.
It's concerning, I mean, listen, I don't want people to lose their fucking jobs.
I'll be right.
And shit like that. But at the same time, it's like this contraction is natural in the cycle, And from an environmental perspective, my idea is that if some of this contraction can allow the Forest Service, to hopefully temper some of these contracts, just from the standpoint of, what we need to have, mature trees being taken.
Sure.
That's I want to ensure that we have good barrels in the future. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to do that is to God fucking I hate to goddamn say this because I hate fucking regulations. But you know what? Sometimes regulations aren't the worst fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, we all want the old good seasoned wood. I mean, that's just the bottom line, But when we know the production is so high to fill these rick houses, you're kind of like, there's no way we
But
can
shit,
get back. I know.
But shit, man, is it? The idea is, when it busts, okay, let's assume it's gonna bust, and we're gonna be left with fucking bottles on the shelf, fucking everywhere.
Which we're seeing now.
We're
Oh,
seeing
well,
that
but
already. We're seeing that now.
Yep.
But imagine it just being worse, right? And you know, once people can't get shit to distributors, you know, people will sell the distributor at fucking, you know, pennies on a fucking dollar. And then you see shit coming in from the distributor and they're like, oh, these bottles are fucking, you know, pennies on the dollar. And you're like, well, why am I going to buy that one? I'm going to buy that one. I'll buy the one that's fucking pennies on the dollar over this other one because you paid X amount.
Hey, Zach. December 2023, it all happened. You just didn't know it. Everything you just talked about,
Yeah,
happened December 2023.
Well,
Guys, I hate the bell, but I'm kind of bad.
The good thing is we get to see a resurgence of the idea of going out and buying really good quality whiskey at an actual price tag.
quality bourbon at a fair price.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I told you, red wine sales is down over 40%. That's over a third of the barrels they need because they're not going to keep on producing at that level when they can't sell what they have now.
Well, I know that's true because we went to Briston, got a new job down in Columbus, and we went down and looked at her where she's going to be moving in and all that stuff. And so I took them out to a really nice dinner, right? To a very, very, you know, nice
upscale,
very upscale. And I was able to buy, you know, like I had like my cocktail that I wanted before, but when I got to my main course, I wanted
you want a bottle.
like, and you guys both know I'm a bougie red wine guy.
Yeah.
And I remember like thinking it was kind of funny that like I bought, you know, a really nice glass of red. And they looked at me and they was like, wow, that's really expensive. I was like, no, that's like half the price I remember it being. So I had a fucking glass of Silver Oak.
Bye, Marty.
I had a glass of Silver Oak, and my glass of Silver Oak, my glass of Silver Oak, I think was like $10. That's unheard of. I was like, that's unheard of. And we're not talking like a downscale restaurant. I mean, don't get me wrong. By the time we were done for three of us, my bill was still $480. But my glass of red wine that was Silver Oak was $10. And I'm like, can't even imagine what they're getting it at for me to be able to get a $10 fucking pour of Silver.
Yeah.
I can remember taking a pour of Silver Oak for like $35.
Right.
And now I'm getting it for less than a third.
Dude, Camus on the shelf here is almost 55 now.
Wow.
Those used to be 100.
Well, they're typically 100 to 120, depending on, you know.
55. 55.
That's insane. Buy fuck up that shit.
Yeah.
I'd buy that case and just sit on it.
I mean, Paso Robles with the Austin Hope. Dude, I see those on sale for like $34 now.
I need to go back in and look at the prices for Chichero because I'm a member there and I'm on deferment as a member. Like, you know, don't charge me because I just haven't been drinking enough for it to matter.
You need to look at it.
You need
to look at it, dude. It's insane.
Trinchero is like up there as one of my
primo.
Primos.
So Camus, that's a Napa vineyard.
Yes. Yeah, that's a Napa Vineyard. One of the higher, like they're right there with like Silver Oak, Duckhorn, all the big guys, right? You get into, they're like a step above everything else. You know, there's a lot of them out there, but they would fall in that range. You know, Camus isn't quite like Duckhorn or,
Mm.
you know, what is it? It's escaping right now. There's a couple of them up there that are still
Farniente.
there's a couple of them up there that are still up there. Like Trinchero is up there, right? Trinchero is so you know you've always seen like Suter Home. You know, Suter Home is like the wine that you find at any hotel or anything like that that's really cheap and affordable. But their premium is Trinchero. And it is like it's like the example that I can give best related is old Blackjack. What is it, old number 7 or whatever, Jack Daniels
Yep.
versus Jack Daniels single barrel strength. That's Trinchero to Suter Home.
I gotcha.
So to give you an idea, if you're a member of Trinchero and you go to if you let them know you're coming ahead of time on a Friday, you go back and for no cost, because your membership is up there, their chefs will come and prepare a meal designated 4 courses to your tasting for no charge. At the time when I was like buying my Trinchero membership, I was spending about, I don't know, $500 or $600 a month for
Okay,
2 bottles.
Bobby, Duckhorn Vineyards Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon at Sam's Club here in town, $34 a bottle.
Really?
Buy it. Fucking Duckhorn is fucking.
It's normally 70 or more.
Really?
Camus was always like 100 to 120, like clockwork.
Okay. Well, these are like, you know. I don't.
Prisoner's like 22 at Sam's Club.
Prisoner.
Camus Cabernet.
Okay.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
At Sam's Club is $59 now.
And that's half the price. That's 50% off. I can tell you that for a fact. I used to buy it all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd be interested to go see what Provenance is for their Elite Series. I'd have to go in and look and see what they're charging now. I know what it used to be.
I don't think
always, the Provenance won't be at Sam's Club or Costco. There's no way.
No.
But you can look them up online because, I mean, some of those bottles were $500 a bottle.
Yeah.
And my buddy, that's my colleague that I work with, has cases of it.
Mm.
You know, you look at like Bags Leap was pretty up there. You know, that was always a pricey one.
Provenance in Lodi, right?
Yeah, it's in Lodi.
Oh fuck! You don't even want to look, bro.
It depends on which bottle it was. Like there was like a regular marketing and then a premium marketing.
You don't want to look. My God.
Well, I probably do want them.
Well, you do from a buying point, but if you're sitting on shit, Provenance Vineyards Cabernet Sauvignon right now is $42.99. There's cheaper. The Fortitude Cabernet Sauvignon by Provenance Vineyards is $94 now. That used to be way more expensive.
Yeah. So I know Tom Rinaldi.
That used to be a couple $100. 92, dude.
So Tom Rinaldi was back in the day. he was the dude in Napa. He was the,
Oh, he was the dude. He was the dude. They have documentaries about that guy. He's
yeah,
the
yeah.
dude.
You know, and I
That's
met him,
nuts,
long
dude.
conversations with him. I have his personal phone number.
Yeah.
He was such a good dude. That's crazy to see, like, Napa or the wine industry in general.
Mhm.
Now, you know, I look at it from a perspective of, like, if you take, let's say, the Gen Zers and the millennials and those groups, get them about 10 to 15 years older, you're going to see a resurgence.
Mhm.
Possibly.
Well, you think about, like, so I, like, this
But-
is something I know, like, very, very for sure, because Chris and I talked about it this morning. You know, you're looking at, this last few years has been a really, really, really hard tax base, like super hard tax base. It's
Yeah.
insane tax base.
Yeah, and if those fools, all those fools that you're talking about, if they vote for who we,
I mean, dude. So I had to go to my accountant today, and I called Chris because I knew he was available to talk, and I said the only reason I'm not drinking is because I'm driving, so I'm smoking, and was just going through it, and I was like, so an absurd amount of money based on what me and Bridget make, and we're trying to figure out how do we possibly break even, because we haven't break even at all in the last 3 years. The last 3 years, we've owed so much, and we are filed as zero as you can be. And I showed, get this, I showed over $20,000 in loss, and I still had $20,000 to pay in.
Yeah.
20 grand.
well, that's
20 grand.
that-
19,970.
I'm sorry, dude. The tax base keeps growing. They keep complaining that they don't have enough fucking money,
Oh, they're out of their
and
minds.
it is utter mismanagement.
Oh, it definitely.
Utter mismanagement of all of those fucking funds, all of their goddamn fucking pet projects and fucking shit that gets tacked on
Zach.
to it.
It ain't
I'm
just,
I'm gonna throw this one out there. Okay. So
Just-
with the new buy an electric vehicle, we allocated and charged more for it, 7.8 billion to build all these charging stations.
Charging
We have
stations. Yeah.
8 in 4 years. Kamala
Yeah.
Harris talked about putting everybody in affordable housing because we're going to put money into affordable housing and do all this stuff over the next 4 years. Well, that's way more than $7.8 billion. But
Fuck
you
yeah,
built
it
me
is.
8 fucking charging stations
Yeah,
in 4 years.
that's the thing, dude.
A charging station is a lot easier to do than a goddamn building houses and buying
That-
properties and shit.
That woman didn't do a goddamn thing, and now she's coming through and saying, "I'm gonna do all this shit," and you didn't do a damn thing.
She's the one that cast the final vote.
I
Like
know.
on the tip shit. On the
I
tip
know.
shit. And I want better candidates than we have on both sides. I think we all deserve that. Okay? No matter what anybody says, I'm not trying to be
Well,
political here.
I
just
think-
want better choices on both sides that have a better reality of what's really in front of us.
You know what? I don't want both of those sides because they're the same side of the fucking same coin. They're all in bed with the same fucking people. I don't give a fuck if you think that he's a fucking nut jobber and he's a little crazy. You know what? He speaks the most fucking sense to me. And that's fucking RFK fucking Jr., dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he's dropping
Sorry?
out. He's dropping. He's gonna support Trump. Listen, I'll take it down to a whole different level.
Dude, there was a thing that Trump offered him to be the head of the CIA now.
Right. Well, this is the deal, right? So, like, listen, I'll tell you.
I don't
most.
want him as CIA. You know what I want him as? I want him as Secretary of fucking State.
Well, I'll tell you this.
There is not another person that has given me more level-headed fucking things talking about international fucking policy than the things that have come out of his mouth. And I'm sorry.
Well, I can tell you about. I don't really care about what anybody comes out of their mouth. I can tell you this, and I'm not just sitting there like going to ride the Trump train, but I'll tell you this. Working internationally all over the world, the 4 years that we didn't have a major conflict anywhere in the world was when we had the only thing we needed. We need.
Yeah.
I don't care where you stand on any topic, and I told this to my daughter, and I've been very true about it. I need, at this point in time in my life, I need a president that scares the shit out of every other nation. Because listen, none of the shit that anybody cares about is going to matter if we don't have someone that they're afraid of.
Listen.
You don't have a fear factor. I think we live in a time of horseshit.
Dude. Did you guys see that newest guest that Sean Ryan had on his podcast? And this guy was like super. He dealt with all of the international like conflicts and that sort of shit. Do you? Sad to say that a lot of our information that we got about all of the WMDs, you know where that came from? It's supposed to be our fucking ally.
Mm-hmm.
Came out of Israel, and it was fucking misinformation. There's misinformation that we would go in and we would do shit. Well, everybody knows that when we went in and we fucking took down Saddam, we invited fucking Al Qaeda to fucking take over goddamn everything. Same way we did with fucking Gaddafi, dude. Like we don't have to like the guy, right? We just need to know that he maintains some semblance of stability in the region. And none of them are good. None of them are good people, and we're not voting for fucking good people, right? We're voting for what benefits us. And all of the information that seems to be coming out is so freaking damning. But the people that we thought were supposed to be on our side were actually fucking playing us as fucking big fools. Because we had
Zach.
I don't know,
here's
man.
the other hard part. We quote unquote take out one terrorist organization or break them down to their means.
And another one takes their place.
We need to. Another one takes their place. I mean, look at where we're at in Afghanistan. We walked out of there with the Taliban.
It's garbage.
And we left them all of our stuff, and we say we're friends with the Taliban. We say we're working with the Taliban now, when all we were trying to do for years was take them out, because we need them to take out ISIS now. We took out ISIS, and then because how do you take them out? The Taliban helped us take them out. And now the Taliban's in charge, and now we're like, oh, we're the Taliban, friend. Now we're trying to take out ISIS because ISIS is coming back.
It's a fucking goddamn never-ending cycle. I mean,
and there's one reason. There's one reason, and you know it, and I know it, and Bobby knows it. The industrial war machine.
Yep.
Creates a lot of money. What did Trump not do?
Fucking yeah.
No war.
So I had a
No.
colleague when I was with Infinera that
No war.
Huh?
lived in the middle of Africa. And we're talking about a very, very, very highly educated African man. It was
Yeah.
one of my dudes. I got along with him great. And he literally asked me, he's like, when are we going to get an American president back in office? He's like, we're dying here. Nobody knows. Everybody's dying. There's so much thing. And we've had the best 4 years I ever remember my life was under Trump. There was no conflict anywhere. And it goes back to the idea that, you know what, sometimes someone has to have a bigger stick.
Yeah.
You have to have a bigger
Well. You know what? And people were scared with how Trump was going to use that stick, and you know what? That was power.
dude. That
was
thing.
power. That was power enough to not have to do anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you know what?
We're,
Listen, man.
we're all chasing shit we don't need to be chasing.
Well, but I will tell you this though: if you go out and you watch a lot of the people on the street, asking folks,
Yeah.
there is a lot of black voters out there waking up and going, they're just trying to give me a black person to vote for because they know that we'll vote for them because of Obama.
Kamala Harris is not going to put more food on their plate.
It ain't. She's gonna make it worse.
Kamala Harris
and-
is
and-
not gonna
Kamala Harris is not
improve their.
qualified. Is not qualified to do anything.
No.
And
There's no credentials of competency.
And
No.
and the running mate. What's her running mate? Tim
Oh,
Walz or
fucking
whatever.
Walls. The guy who
God.
keeps on lying about his credentials and what he's done. He lied about his wife's IVF. He lied about going to Iraq.
Yes.
He lied about everywhere he's been and everything he's done. The man, everybody's like, oh, this JD Vance guy has lied about everything. Well, everything you found out about him, no, he's done what he said.
Yeah.
Is he a cool dude? No,
No.
he's
kind
a
of
politician.
He's a fucking politician, but
he's
But
a real
you're talking about a guy that came from nothing
right,
and built his
Right.
way to where he is.
right.
oh man, listen. All I
And
know,
I don't-
all I know is that I'm scared that this is a pivotal fucking election.
Now,
That
this isn't a pivotal
It
election.
is.
It's the most
and-
important election of our life.
and because this is what we're going to leave to our kids. Whatever fucking happens this term, I feel like is what we're gonna leave to our fucking kids, and I don't fucking want to
It
leave
is.
a bunch of goddamn
I
fucking
can
bullshit.
tell you now, in my perspective,
And
this is the most important election of my lifetime.
Yes. You know.
so
That's
let
what
me-
I'm
let me-
scared
let
of.
me let me ask you a separate question.
Okay.
Do you think politics in America would have been different if freaking Kennedy had not been elected or not been assassinated?
No.
Well, no, I don't
He-
think so,
he-
because if you
he-
look at the time and the age and the difference of the people back then, there's been an over progression over the years.
Well, what I
Oh.
mean by that is that do you think that enabled certain factions to get a foothold and then start having
No.
more influence?
No, I don't think it started with him. I think it was much later. I
No.
think there's
It was
been an ongoing
it was well before that.
I can tell you this in my perspective, and this is just my own thoughts. It doesn't matter. When I saw everything start going to shit, it was Clinton, the Clinton administration, because what they started to do is attack the youth. And they started attacking the youth, saying, hey, listen, you don't have to listen to your parents. You have rights. And in that, now you start building a culture. You're building a culture. And I think that it started there, because you start looking at that and you start looking at this, and there's a lot of things that I won't talk about on stream, but I can go back and look at a lot of things. I was in the military when he took office. I watched all all of your senior upper level officers in the Marine Corps leave.
Yep.
Leave. Gone.
That's
You're out.
that's when it started to happen.
I watched it. I mean, I watched it happen.
The military changed then.
And when you take down, I mean, because what you start looking at, is you look at this opportunity to say, hey, listen, we're going to make a weaker America. We've been a weak America ever since Clinton's first reign.
First term.
His first term was the very first start of the demoralizing of our youth and a depowering of our military in an exponential amount.
Well, but see, I think at the same time, you had a rise in because of that, right? Because of that, you had a rise in all of this police state, right? Whether and it doesn't matter if it was from local level or national level. I think what you're saying is not necessarily that they didn't give the youth. They were like trying to take something away. I think they were giving something to them that wasn't.
No, they were deprogramming from the greatest generation ever, right? Which is World War II vets. When you look at the generation of World War II, that was our grandparents.
Yeah,
our grandparents, right?
That's been happening for a long
last
time.
generation that is
my father-in-law's generation, which is the Vietnam guys.
Well, the greatest generation was the World War II.
The greatest, yes.
World War II, right? And so you look at that, right?
But
the only ones that remember. So think of this, right?
Hey,
only ones that realize.
I gotta run. The kids.
That's okay. I got you.
There you go.
It's late.
I mean, yeah, dude. We gotta.
We'll just call it.
Love you guys.
All right, man. Cheers.
Love you, dude.
Yep. Bye.